This week on the program, we're putting a lasso around the moon and pulling it down to Earth, killing everyone on the planet. It's a Wonderful Life. I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
We're doing Melancholia, Chris Cabin.
Eric Siska.
And we love movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. Thank you for tuning in, as always, like we said up top. It's a Wonderful Life from 1946, directed by Frank Capra. Congratulations on this movie being the oldest thing we've talked about on the show so far. Beating out, what the fuck was that John Wayne movie?
Yes.
Oh, The Conqueror.
Right.
That was like 60-something or early?
It's
50s.
50s, I think.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. We deleted the episode on intolerance.
Oh, right.
Well, because it
that
was
a
9
long
hours long and
Yeah.
my computer crashed.
We did Intolerance minute by minute, actually.
By the way, the plot of the moon coming down to kill everybody is the plot of Legend of Zelda, the Majora's Mask, everybody.
The lesser of the bunch, I'll say.
wait,
Oh, I love that game.
What era was that?
That's
It's the,
it's the
second
sequel.
64.
Yeah, there's two 64 games. One was Ocarina of Time, which is, I mean, yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the best game of all
I
time.
first like
No.
when 64 happened, and I played it and all, but I fell off the Zelda train. Then I didn't play. I don't think either of those games.
Can I admit something on the air?
Oh my god,
I don't, and it's not any fault of like having a negative opinion about it.
Sounds like it is.
No, I've just never really been on a Zelda train.
All
I
right.
just never played it.
if
We
you-
played the NES one a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
here's my little sword, and we're
No.
getting secret
Oh,
passage.
no,
the
that's-
music was great in that version, though.
Absolutely.
Ocarina of Time and the new one, Breath of the Wild, will genuinely make you lose your job. You will start playing it, and you will want to stay home for the rest of the month.
You speaking from personal experience, Big Daddy?
I didn't have a job, so hard to you.
Mr. Potter's like all of these layabouts, this working class playing Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Breath of the Wild.
Yes, release the Skyward Sword. They'll all crush.
This movie is an American classic, FYI.
But like
sort
a
of like
belated.
Zelda.
it is.
Although I guess Zelda's a Japanese
Japanese
classic.
classic,
This movie is an American classic, but not from when you think, though.
Yeah.
This movie didn't become to get the story out of the way because we watch this at Christmas. Obviously, everybody knows that. Movie theaters all over the country play it. I'm playing it. I play it every year at the Jacob Burns for repertory stuff. Sure. This is not a Christmas movie. 30 minutes of this is a Christmas movie at the end. This is a film that has a few scenes that take place at Christmas Eve, actually. And that's it. It wasn't until the 1970s when they bought up the rights to play it on television. There was the whole public domain thing. What happened to this movie is what happened to Freddy Krueger. Somebody signed something in the wrong place and the form was fucked up, and this movie went free into public domain.
Well, I'll tell you what happened is the influence of the movie is so humongous that they literally took it apart in different ways. Like most Christmas movies are influenced by this. Most movies that are like Home versus the Unknown are reference this in some
It's got
way.
a good message, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, now you're drunk on Christmas watching TV. You've got nothing going on for you, and you see the story involved here, and you see that you're rich because you have one friend or whatever.
And sadly, it also all these fucking Christian like Catholic movies. Fireman finds out that PTSD doesn't exist. Kind of movies. All of them are take this Christian message. If you just pray, if you just all will pray,
Right.
we'll be okay.
I mean, yeah, God's involved in this movie, but I don't know what God this is. Not any God I ever met.
He's the kind of God I'd
God?
be, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
He's the kind of God that I would be, which is like, let's just roll the dice and see what happens.
No, he's a God that wants to see you break.
Yeah.
That's really his he gets his giddies off that.
It does seem like there's multiple gods. We're introduced to the sky, and there's certain galaxies that are living beings and they talk to each other?
I think we're in Mormon territory because all these stars come around, like little Clarence. And the weird thing is, Clarence is an angel second class, which means he's dead and he hasn't gotten like he lived as a man, died, and then went to heaven. Which is not how angels work where I come from.
Contemporary of Mark Twain, by the way.
Yes,
and he made clocks.
I think I also think that the Mark Twain joke is this weird thing where it's like that makes, because they start off and like, you know, it's the sky is talking, you know, like a normal movie beginning, and like Clarence is like they're like, oh, we're gonna have to send Clarence to take care of this George Bailey situation, and it's like, oh, he's got the mind of a child, so he's reading Tom Sawyer, which is like watching, like, I don't know, it's like if you were sitting
it's like me watching Pingu.
Exactly.
Well, in this movie, there's a couple things that you forget at the start of this movie. So one, you forget that we go into space, and the camera kind of like
beyond Jupiter a little bit.
It passes over the moon like it's fucking MST3K, like the little prop moon that we go over. You have that. I love.
Oh no, they're gonna send me cheesy movies.
Oh no, not cheesy movies. One of
the
my
worst
favorite.
they could find. La la la.
It's a wonderful life. Just relax. Don't need answers.
One of my favorite
How I
parts,
eat.
though, is the title card of this movie, where it says "It's a Wonderful Life." And did you catch this? There's like an illustration of Santa Claus. He looks like he's skanking.
Yeah,
like he's just got like a leg out. And he's like kind of got the arms in the air.
There's so many questions for this intro because it's like, wait, is this a storybook? Are we being read a story of a fictional man here? And
Yes.
then we have people praying. Is how
everybody's
the
praying.
sky wakes up,
Yep.
which is terrifying.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? The power of prayer is supposed to be like, if enough of us send our thoughts and prayers, you know, crazy people won't kill kids in schools anymore, right? Thoughts and prayers are going up to the sky.
I never understand how that works. Like, you know what? Either God gives a shit or he doesn't. I shouldn't have to intervene and be like, yo, dude, do your job.
God should not have to hear it from the crowd like Hulk Hogan.
But he does.
So the plot is Clarence is going to be sent down to Earth to help out this motherfucker named George Bailey.
Because the fucking lines have been ringing off the hook. I can't even make an outgoing call. Everyone's calling out George fucking Bailey.
And of course, George Bailey, played by James Stewart. He's the best. Great in this movie. This is a great cast. Everybody just remembers like Jimmy Stewart, and that's it. But you have Donna Reed as Mary. She's awesome. Fucking Lionel Barrymore from the silent era is here as Mr. Potter. And of course, Gloria Grahame as Violet. Oh, Violet, the town loosey-goosey.
Big ups for Ward Bond.
Who's Ward Bond?
John Ford. He's one of his favorites. He's in a bunch of Western. He's the cop. His buddy cop.
I like
Bert.
There's Bert and Ernie.
Yes.
Ernie's the taxi driver, which I assume is where Sesame Street.
That's what everybody thought, but apparently
Oh?
one of the major like writers on Sesame Street claimed that that's just a coincidence.
Okay, he's just a liar. Then.
I think he's a fucking liar.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you work with puppets all your life like that, you're gonna be a liar.
And you probably have taken acid over the holidays
Oh,
and just
definitely,
was
dude.
just there and you remember it.
The story behind this movie, which is amazing. This movie basically started as a chain letter, kind of like a guy wrote a short story, couldn't get
Mary,
it published.
forward this to your grandfather.
Or else a bunch of kids are gonna die in Africa.
It was a short story this guy wrote, couldn't get published, and
It's
then
creepy pasta, Mary. Did I tell you that I'm dead?
he sent it out as Christmas cards. He sent it out all over around for Christmas cards, and then like I think Cary Grant got it and wanted to make, or the Cary Grant's people got it and wanted to make it a movie.
Yeah.
But like, this is like forward it to your friend. Like, it's just that thing like my grandfather would forward and be like, oh, and then the Lord gave him what he needed. Forwarded to 10
Money.
people.
The Lord gave him money.
I have to say, it took. So what are we in 2018 right now?
Sure.
It took the better part of 20 years. My parents have finally stopped forwarding those kind of emails.
Oh, really? Nice.
Fucking finally. And it was only within like the last 3 to 4 years.
Okay, but you're not going to get anything from that Nigerian prince.
This film takes place in the fictitious town of Bedford Falls, which is somewhere in western New York.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. We're getting name drops here, like the city of Rochester. I love that there was a guy, it's the bank inspector, who's like, I just want to get in here and see what your business is up to and then get out of here so I can get back to Elmira with my family. Elmira is like this middle of New York State nothing town. Sneeze and you miss it. I've driven through it before. I couldn't believe a reference to Elmira, New
We should
York.
apologize to the residents of Elmira.
All
They're
three of
listening.
them.
They're all listening.
Quick thing about the bank inspector before we get all the way there, but like, I mean, it's your fault for going there on fucking Christmas Eve. Like, take that weekend
That's
off.
true.
Seriously.
And then, like, visit him on the 28th or some bullshit. Like, it's not, doesn't need to happen that night. If you want to get back to your fucking family, it's not going to happen because you're the one that is doing this bank inspector.
You could go home and get a hot plate of out on your ass.
Maybe there's more going on to that guy than we know. Like
Okay.
he wants to be away from family.
Got it.
You know.
All those Hallmark, it always drives me nuts. All those Hallmark and Lifetime movies, it's like, oh, we got to go to the fucking Christmas party on Christmas Eve. It's like, well, no, nobody's around.
No, that's
Well,
why everybody's
that's
doing these
this
Christmas parties 2
family
weeks
shit.
before.
December 7th or bust.
Wow.
Really, that's really early.
That's really early.
That is early. But that's fine. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I would
Also-
prefer like the 13th or so, but
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
I understand what you're coming from.
So the deal is obviously if Clarence gets George Bailey to not commit suicide, which by the way that they put this is very interesting. Also, God says that Clarence has the IQ of a rabbit.
And the face of a child.
He says that at 10:45 p.m. tonight, George Bailey is going to throw away my greatest gift. That's what we're talking about here. And that, friends, is suicide. Taking your
There's
life.
also this great thing when the celestial bodies are talking to each other that it's like and Clarence is like, well, is he sick? Like, why do I have to go down there?
Yeah.
It's worse. It's worse than being sick.
Much
Clarence.
worse.
He's discouraged.
Oh man, that's much worse than having cancer.
Dude, if I had fucking, if I got an angel coming down every time I was discouraged, I would never get any work done.
That's true. I'm just living with an angel now.
But like, Joseph just says that Clarence has the IQ of a rabbit.
Yep.
Can you even measure that shit when you're an angel? Don't you just know the all of eternity?
I think it's like a thing. Well, he's an angel second class motherfucker. So
But
he's
still
just
there.
a dead guy.
He's already
Show me
there.
your papers, angel second class.
Sign up Papieren, bitte. God?
You go to the angel slums.
Wait, am I an angel?
Yes, you're an angel second class.
You sure I'm not a devil guy?
This is interesting reading of Don Rumsfeld's The Bible.
So it's weird though, and like I don't know. I assume most people have seen this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies.
Grown up with this movie. So much of this movie. I mean, we take an hour and whatever it is, like 40 minutes until we get to Christmas, and most of this movie is just the shit ass life of George Bailey.
Dude, this guy never had a chance. I mean,
Never.
I
It's
just think that
amazing.
this is like, you know, this is something very relatable, especially it was you had a hard fucking road, man. It's a hard road out there.
But like the pattern in which he's like almost crossing the town limits and gets pulled back in, like this story is totally like Kafka-esque, to use a word I hate, but like he can't fucking escape this
It
shit.
is.
His suicide bridge is like, Mary, this is the furthest I've been out of the Shire.
But it is. No, it is. It's almost like you want to you imagine when like he goes to the druggist later on. It's like, and he has that little machine where it's like, I wish I had $1 million, hot dog. Well, can I leave town tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can I leave town the next day?
William Shatner taps him on the shoulder. He's like, are you going to be on that long? I have to make a wish.
So yeah, we open on the first thing Clarence sees is 1919 when George Bailey is like 10 years old or some odd thing.
Yeah.
Holy Toledo
12.
with this.
12 is 12.
The great part about this is the intro where Mr. Potter's driving by and it's like, is that a king?
Yeah. It's like, well, Clarence, in modern American economics, yes, that is a king. He's a fucking millionaire. Yep, he's a king.
He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, we're riding shovels down a hill as if they were sleds. Man, what a time to be alive in 1919.
Dude, you've never done that?
No.
I've totally done that.
You've ridden a shovel?
Yeah. Because you
Interesting.
use the pole as a little steering wheel.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I grew up poor.
I grew up poor. In the Bronx with no hills.
You're just going to go out and get hit by a city bus.
I think I've used a garbage can lid.
Oh,
yeah,
One of those-
totally.
One of those
Yeah.
big dudes.
Yeah.
So we're all riding.
Rubbermaid.
We're all riding down. Sam Wainwright, by the way. That guy will not let that joke die.
That's amazing that dude has been keeping this up since the end of World War One.
And
His
God,
little donkey voice.
bless George Bailey. Every time he fucking greets it with a smile and says, "Motherfucker, let it go."
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Later in the movie, they're like, "Oh, fucking Sam Wainwright. Oh, Sam,
But then he does Sam Wainwright's move at the end of this movie is the one that really gets the waterworks going for me.
Oh, yeah.
When the telegram comes, because Sam grows up to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
He says he authorizes his business to give George Bailey up to $25,000. No questions asked. Dude, the hair on my arm is tingling right now. I lose it when Sam Wainwright's gift comes through.
I always cry over money.
So whilst doing this, George's little brother Harry gets into a pit of fucking shallow ice there.
Yeah.
And George has to dive in and save him, where he loses his ability to hear in his left ear. Mm-hmm. What he calls it, it's my trick ear.
It's
It's a trick ear.
What trick is that?
It's a trick because a lot of people come up and yell shit at me. I think it's a trick.
It's a trick because it doesn't work.
They abuse my disability.
It's one of those like old 1950s parlances when like Don Draper has a hot tooth, he calls it. Which is like
Coming through, hot tooth.
Ooh, I got a hot tooth.
Going to the dentist with my hot tooth.
A lot of hot hearts in Don Draper's time, too.
Oh, it's my trick heart.
Oh, God, got the hot crotch again.
Yeah, exactly.
The hot crotch, especially during the war.
That means warts.
Oh, sorry, I keep going to the bathroom. I got my trick stomach acted up again.
So then we see so little George, he's already working. By the way, it's 1919. You fucking better get to work, little kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's working at the druggist because all the good factory jobs were taken by the other kids in town.
It's amazing. And I mean, like, this kid is like tending bar, selling shoelaces, selling cigarettes.
I love this.
Malteds.
It's like this. It's a moment where it's kind of like a Little Rascals bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like George is working behind the counter, and then Mary comes in, and they're a bit flirtatious, and then like little Violet comes in, and she's more flirtatious and forward with
horny
George.
Kids,
Yes.
dude.
Dude, it's just like the
Unbelievable.
Little Rascals movie, where that movie should be entitled "The Little Rascals: Horny Kids."
Dude, not to be a jerk, but it's 1919. The clock was ticking on those two girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
They were 10 years old. You got to find a husband by the time you're 15.
Oh,
that's
or else
right.
you might become an old maid. Eric.
Oh, my God. No.
We'll get to old maid. But yes, it's just like, oh shit, I gotta stake up my husband now, or else they're gonna throw me into the pit of carcoon.
On top of the old maid situation, like the first thing where you're just like, is right before he goes to work. One of his friends is like, yeah, go to work, slave.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh boy.
When Violet comes in, she's like, Mary says something like, "Oh, what, do you like George?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then the girl playing Mary goes, "You like every boy." And
Yeah.
Violet's like, "Yeah, what's wrong with that?" And I'm like, "What conversation is this?"
And then George Bailey, the little kid George Bailey, holds up his National Geographic, says that when he grows up, he's going to travel the world and he
Right.
will have a couple of harems.
Couple of
Yes.
harems and no less than 4 to 5 wives.
Nice.
We might be in Mormontown, you're right.
Little Mitt Romney.
Oh, that there is my trick ear.
Oh, yeah. Don't mention 2012. That was my trick elections.
One thing, there's product placement in this movie. 'Cause we would make fun of it. It was Transformers: Revenge of the Who Gives a Shit.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a Coca-Cola in all over that. There's something called Sweet Capra cigarettes, which the slogan is "Ask Dad, he knows."
Oh yeah, Dad knows you're sucking those down, dude. I bet it was cigarettes with sugar sprinkled in it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or maybe like a sugary mouthpiece or something.
Sugarettes.
I mean, little George Bailey is just fucking making these malted, just waiting for his smoke break. Like, oh Christ!
He says
Old
to
man
Mary,
Gower's got me working.
I want to start like talking like they did back then again. With you start every sentence with "say," and he says to Mary, he goes, "Say, brainless." Oh my God!
She, a very sweet little moment. He's reaching down to get something. She's like, "Is that your bad ear?" And then she's like, "One day I'm gonna marry you, George Bailey." And
Right.
It's adorable.
Says it in the fucked up ear.
This is like a Biff Tannen line.
Yes. Is that your trick ear?
Mark my words, Lorraine. Someday you're gonna be my wife.
Oh, that's cute. They're kids.
Is that your trick ear, George Bailey? I'm gonna fucking kill you. What? You will never see it coming.
I'm going to kill your husband, and then I'm going to bury him, and then I'm going to seduce you with money, and then I'm going to build a hotel.
So Old Man Gower, by the way, is drunk as a skunk.
This is the shopkeep he's the druggist.
Yes, and George is whistling along. He's making drinks, whistling, and he says, "My favorite line in the movie is like, nobody paid you to be a canary." It's just a good ass line, man.
And George discovers there's a telegram, and it's like, "Hey, Mr. Gower, bummer, dude, your fucking son succumbed to pneumonia. Merry Christmas."
What's his son up to, by the way?
I don't know, but he's like, you see that photograph in the back room, and
Yeah.
he's at least like a grown man. I was picturing like a little kid somewhere.
I think it's influenza, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yes.
1919, so
He might be on the
be
war.
left in Europe after the war, like trying to recover on a
Yeah.
hospital bed. Is what my thoughts.
Yeah,
would be.
totally. So this dude is drinking to forget this shit, and it comes to pass that he's been getting some pills together for some kid, and he fucks it up and fills these capsules with poison.
What
Whoops.
is this? What is this poison pills? He's like, oh yeah, I could fill your prescription, or if you got a wealthy suitor you're looking to get rid of, Old Man Gower's got you covered.
Well, I mean, it's a jar like 2 feet big of poison.
Just
Yeah.
poison powder?
It says people killers on it.
Well, but back then they would just be using that shit to kill literally any nuisance animal around.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
They
true.
weren't
Dogs,
regulating that
cats,
shit. Like if
whatever.
there was a stray dog in your backyard and you kept on eating your
You know
turnip
what?
or whatever the fuck.
Put
Yes.
that shit in the hardware store. Put the medicine in the pharmacy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They should not be commingling on the same countertop. Although I was also misremembering this scene because I don't watch this movie every year. I have seen it a bunch of times. But of course, everybody only really remembers the last 30 minutes because that's the Christmas part. So at this part, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Old Man Gower ate all that poison.
I wish.
That's what you should have done, Gower. No, but instead,
Little George Bailey putting his little arm down the old man's throat to get him to vomit. It's like plunging this dude.
It's like the scene from Almost Famous.
oh, Mr. Gower, what'd you take? What'd you take?
Because he's so drunk and he falls down in that chair. And I was like, all right, suicide.
He's like, you gotta get these pills over to little Joey. And he's like, oh, they have the diphtheria over there. He's like, yeah, I know. Give him the pills. He realizes it's poison, and he doesn't know what to do. So he goes to see his dad. He's like, let me ask my dad. Because here's the thing. And a grown-up told you to do a thing, and
Yes.
it's 1919. No questions asked, mister.
Yep, you just do it.
Shit, I mean, that's how 1990 worked for me, too.
Your ears boxed, which we'll get to.
Your boss instructed you to kill that little kid. You fucking do it because a grown up told you to.
So he goes to his dad. His dad runs the building and loan there with his fucking piece of shit Uncle Billy.
Jesus, Uncle Billy, talk about dumb as a fucking squirrel.
One of cinema's greatest losers, Uncle Billy. Like
Absolutely.
the top Mount Rushmore of loserdom.
You stupid fuck. And also, this, you want to talk about like legislation for term limits? Dude, you got to force people into early retirement. I don't care if you own this business. Fuck you. You shouldn't be working.
No. This is all because James Stewart's father, Chuck Grassley, decided that he was going to give his brother a place to fucking drink for the rest of his life.
Yeah, you get a fucking office. You got a door with your name on it. It can close and just chug a lug.
But I mean, like, it is the fucking the Bailey's fault. Like, you know what Uncle Billy does? He's the you know what? You have all year to plan the Christmas party, Uncle Billy. You stay in here. You figure out the best decorations.
Yep.
And the best songs. No. That's all you got to do.
See you in 11 months.
Don't touch a fucking nickel that's in this place.
I cannot believe that this man is handling money.
So my cinematic Mount Rushmore of losers would be, or cinematic and theater as well, would be Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
You got Willie Loman up there for sure.
Of course.
Woody Harrelson from White Men Can't Jump.
That's a good one. Nice pull.
I'm trying to think who would be the fourth guy. The fourth, or it could be
Fredo
Wendy-
Corleone.
Oh, Fredo
is up
Corleone's
there.
got to be on the Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore of
From
losers.
modern ones, I feel Kyle Chandler and Carol.
Oh yeah,
that's a
that
big
guy's
one.
a big time loser.
That's
Oh,
a big
yeah.
one.
Samwise Gamgee.
Ooh,
Yes,
I
yeah,
mean, he does redeem himself, but he is kind of
He's
a
kind of a loser.
At least in like those first two movies, he's a loser.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti in all.
Hey.
No, that's
Never mind.
it's a different mountain for Paul Giamatti. It's like fucking Skeletor's castle, like that big skull. It's just Paul Giamatti.
Oh my god, dude! Fucking Castle Giamatti.
Him with just a bunch of different pairs of glasses on.
But so yeah, he goes to his father. His father's meeting with Old Man Potter, who we kind of talked about, who is a monster. And I mean, like, this is an anti-capitalist movie. I mean, it is and it isn't. You know what I mean? We can go around it,
Right.
but it
It's
is
like an ethical capitalist movie.
You're
like,
Joe Kennedy. You're Joe Kennedy the third. Ethical capitalism.
Is he going by that now?
He's trying to go.
I
for
had
it.
no idea that was
Yeah.
a thing. I apologize.
No. But that's kind of what the idea is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like just enough. It's help when you need it, but also you really need to get a fuck.
Well,
right.
because like James Stewart is making those points at in one of the scenes here where he's like, you know, wouldn't you rather these people aren't worrying about like how they're going to find housing? They can live in a house. They can concentrate on work, which means like they're making more money, like spreading their wealth into your businesses, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Right, they'd be better customers, and it's a great argument for. We do need Medicare for all. We need public free housing.
Yeah, and
Food,
the
these are
the
basic things people need to live.
Yes, and a living wage from the government. You know what I mean? Like,
And
these
the
are-
right to give kids poison, should you choose.
But so and Potter doesn't believe in any of that. Like, he just wants to get as many and even to the town's detriment, he just wants to get as many nickels as he can in his fucking rotten old fucking seedless hand.
And it's Potter wanting to default on these loans like weeks before Christmas.
It's just so crazy going back and watching this movie and seeing in 1946 these ideals on screen, and now we live in Pottersville. Like we live in Potter.
Oh, our
land
reality
right
is
now.
Pottersville,
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is,
Right down to the pornography.
it wasn't. But George Bailey's ideas weren't radical.
Oh.
Really? I mean, they were kind of, but like now they are extremely radical.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Well,
is, what are we doing?
It's interesting. You can read up on it on Wikipedia a little bit. This movie was investigated by the FBI.
It would be now if you. That's it. I want the FBI investigating Hollywood and their socialist propaganda.
That's exactly what it was. They were like, this movie has like strong messages of communism in it.
I am directing my AG to sue Paul Schrader and First Reformed for suggesting that climate change is man-made.
Yeah.
Or it's against God. What are we talking about here, folks? Don't we love
Okay,
Green Book? Don't we love it?
All right, we're going to do Medicare for all. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Give them all the poison pills. Anyone leeching off the government gets the poison pills.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
So I'm sorry.
Baconator.
Sorry, Baconator.
I would like to introduce you to my new chief of staff now that John Kelly is gone. He's the Baconator.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
Say hello, Baconator.
a talking sandwich giving a press
And the
conference.
New York Times is like, well, I think the Baconator is doing a pretty good job at making a more quiet Trump these days. I gotta hand it to the Baconator.
Pulling out of Iran deal was a problem. Sean done that.
Is that the
You shut
Baconator
your-
talking?
you shut your lying bacon tongue before I eat it.
Oh, I'm gonna eat your tongue.
Lie-
I'm gonna eat your juicy, salty bacon tongue.
I'm so glad we got rid of the line and leak and Baconator. He was terrible. Chicken Sandwich is who I wanted from the start, and he was not available. But now Chicken Sandwich is here to stay.
New York Times yet again. The chicken sandwich is turning around the Trump administration. Who would have guessed?
He's unstable.
Chicken Sandwich was lazy. He was also stupid. And I ate him. I'm eating all my staff.
So yeah, whatever. Potter, you just kind of meet Potter, and you meet Jimmy Stewart's dad, who is a very sweet old man, but also you can tell like doesn't really care about turning a profit, and he's a very nice man. So basically, long story short, is George Bailey decides not to deliver the poison,
Right.
Not to kill him. This like reminds me of that scene in Swing Kids when what do you call it, what's his face name? Robert
Sean Leonard.
Sean Leonard is delivering remains of people from the Nazis, and then he opens it up and freaks the fuck out. Similar.
Very similar.
In any event, he decides not to do it.
Right.
Mr. Gower gets a call, and he's like, that medicine was supposed to be there an hour ago. And George comes in. He's like, what'd you do with that medicine? He starts hitting this kid.
Beating the shit
My
out of this
lord,
kid.
beats him bloody.
And
By
by the way,
trick here is even worse now.
I guess the guy H.B. Warner who played Gower was a bit of a method actor and was drunk
Nice.
when he filmed this scene
What?
and hit the kid and actually caused his ear to bleed.
Oh
but
my
he,
God.
But he gave him a hug afterwards, so it's fine. I mean, like,
was he nominated for an Academy Award?
the shit going on in Hollywood in the 1940s? I wouldn't put my kid on that set.
Hey, Capra, watch this.
But I also
Put your
feel
pants back on.
it was the 40s, and like it was your right to hit any kid you want.
Oh, of
Absolutely.
You could go if a kid fucking crossed you could just box that kid's ears.
And the parents would be cool with it, man, because it was the kid's fault, guaranteed.
It teaches them discipline. It teaches them that, when you do something wrong, you get hit.
Back then we respected our elders, and would
you
it be?
get back out there and you deliver that poison.
I knew exactly what was in those pills.
You're gonna fuck my plan up.
That child's mine. You don't know it. I had an affair with the wife.
The world takes one of my children. I take one of the
That's,
world's
dude, I think that's
children.
exactly what was going on.
Or, maybe it was a fucking dead zone situation. He had a vision of that kid becoming president.
Yep.
Nuking somebody. And was like, I have to.
He's got to be friends with someone named Oppenheimer. We got to stop this.
The ice is gonna break.
He's eventually going to star in the West Wing. We got to stop it.
Lil Aaron Sorkin. But no, yeah, I mean, like he's beating the shit out of this kid. The kid's crying. I mean, I'm sure. You know what? To H.B. Warner's credit, I'm sure that really informed the kid's performance, and that's what.
Oh,
that got
absolutely.
some real tears on set.
Because that kid thought he was going to die that day.
And Capra's like, amazing.
Perfect.
In any event, he does reveal that it was poison, sir. It was poison.
Right, and then this dude like loses it, and he's crying, and
Yeah.
he's fucking hugging this kid, and then it's
That
revealed.
guy's been drinking all day, by the way.
Absolutely. We will not take much for this dude to start fucking pouring tears. And it's revealed, though, that George Bailey never said a fucking word about the poison incident.
Wow.
Because we flash forward, we finally get Jimmy Stewart as a college age man, and yeah, the God's like, and by the way, he didn't fucking leak shit about that poison thing.
And now,
As you know, Clarence, snitches get stitches.
Oh, that's right, boss. Thank you.
and now he's going to go on a cow boat and see the world.
Man, the smell. Can you even
I
imagine
can't think
being
of
on
it.
a boat full of cows?
That's just poop central.
He gets a suitcase and
I want a big one.
a big cow.
No, he wants a bigger suitcase.
Oh,
He
right,
wants it
yeah.
in the freeze.
Put not just for a couple of days, for a couple of years. Put all my clothes in for a couple of years.
He's also talking about where the stickers placements would be from all the places he's traveled. He's like, oh, right here, Baghdad.
Does he say Baghdad?
He does say Baghdad, yeah, sure.
And can you imagine all the customs, like this guy stopping the custom age? No. Put it there. There. Don't just slap it. Man.
Gotta get all my. I got a whole plan here for my stickers. Don't you put that fucking Marrakesh sticker there? You put it over there. Pay attention.
Yeah, put it right above the Iron Maiden sticker.
I sketched a weird S into the corner there to give it a little character.
Put it next to the 3D cube I doodled.
Well, I was going to yell at you, but that's a pretty impressive 3D cube. Kind of tripping me out here. And Mr. Gower actually bought him a really nice suitcase. It's like, thanks for not ruining my life.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for keeping quiet about that whole child abuse and almost poisoning thing.
And also, not for nothing, like, I mean, he does lose his hearing. He's like, oh, it's my bad ear. It hasn't healed yet. They say it's because of the pneumonia. I feel like Gower had something to do with it. Had Gower fucking kept his hands to himself.
would have healed up.
Yeah.
Keeps him out of World War II, though. So.
Saved my life, Mr. Gower. I would have died on the beaches of Normandy.
And Gower, I mean, like, the weird thing is this town is full of immortals. Like, his dad dies, everyone else lives forever.
It's insane. Like, Mr. Gower is 105
Yes.
in 1919. And then
Exactly.
when World War II launches off, Mr. Gower is still, like, jogging every morning.
I am forced to believe that Martini is Zeus.
I think that lends credence to the whole idea that this is some weird fucking Godot / Kafka fucking bubble town.
It makes sense.
It's
I
a
mean,
Twilight Zone
They are
episode.
under the dome.
So we kind of, and this is the first of many times where, like, again, like, Stewart wants to leave town. Like, that's his fucking dream, to get out of this fucking one-horse piece of shit town.
He's been reading Nat Geo since 1919.
And he's about to do it. This is when, is this what? Oh, he's like going around town. He's like, oh, it's going to be a great trip. He goes home to meet his dad, his brother, their maid, and his mother.
Right.
And
Why'd you say made like that?
because
Steve?
it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
Listen,
I mean, it was standard
listen,
practice.
yes.
There's
I guess.
been much worse
Yes.
in the movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is no Gone with the Wind. We'll
Yeah,
give it
it
that.
Exactly right. This woman is allowed to be a human being with the mind of an adult. So that she's got that
Yeah,
going
Right,
for
but
her.
it's still a white ethno state, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. well, dude, they're in a dome.
And Harry
Yes.
Bailey is like grabbing her ass, and he's like, "I'm gonna marry you one day." And it's a big joke. Could you even imagine such a thing? Could you even?
yeah.
What a fucking knee slapper.
The grab ass is outrageous, though.
yeah, exactly.
I couldn't believe. I didn't remember that part either.
But so like, and I love this because Jimmy Stewart, Harry just graduated high school. I think Jimmy Stewart's in his early 20s at this point. He skipped college.
Yes.
He's about to go to college. There's this weird plan where like the family can only send one kid to college at a time, so everyone kind of waits a little longer than they would. But like,
Well, also no, it's not one to college at a time. It is the brother is graduating high school.
Yes.
but they've only saved enough money for Jimmy Stewart for George to go to college.
Yeah.
This other dude is like, maybe you're gonna go work at the building and loan for a couple. And Jimmy Stewart's like kind of planning like, well, then I'll come back and then he'll go. But it's like, where's that money coming from?
It's the old switcheroo. He's going to go away for 4, and
Yeah.
then Harry gets to go away for 4.
but I also think it's a little bit of like a scam. Like, yeah, I'll definitely come back, Harry. Hold the bag for me for a while.
oh, that's exactly what it's gonna be, dude. And like, why not?
That's what the brother does to him after that.
man, that
I mean,
fucking rotten brother.
Dude,
We'll get to
what
it.
a piece of shit.
So it's great. He's wearing a suit jacket and a bow tie. He's eating dinner with his dad. And we get a lot of like why the building loan is important. And he's kind of like, I don't want to become you, dad, you piece of shit. And then he's like, oh, I got to go change for the party. I'm like, dude, you're wearing a suit. Like, what are we talking about?
Dude, people just dressed better back then.
Yes.
Dude, you went out to get you reach in the medicine cabinet. You're like, oh, I'm all out of poison pills. I got to go to the druggist. You put on a fucking 3-piece
Oh, of
suit
Of course,
before you
it
go
was
out
a
the
more
door.
formal society.
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't had that breakdown yet.
If you went to the stationery store without a tie on, they shoot you.
Yeah, dude, you're a
Just
fucking
straight up
communist.
right in the head.
The police would come and arrest you for vagrancy.
There's a great line in the conversation with the dad where Jimmy Stewart says that Mr. Potter is he's sick in his soul if he even has one. Oh yeah.
The way these shots are framed too made me think like, wait, are they trying to make the father look a little bigger? And like, is Jimmy Stewart like Clifford in this sequence? Because he looks very old for like a 20-year-old.
He's in his mid-30s
Yeah,
at this point, at least,
right.
and a hard 30-something. He just came back from World War fucking II.
Yeah, there's probably some like shoe polish on Jimmy Stewart's head, make him darken up that hair again.
So he does go to the party. He kind of reluctantly goes to his brother's party. And but I love the no gym tonight, son. No gin for any of you.
No gin. You stay away from that gin, boys.
You know what happens to you, Harry. You go down to that pond and try to put yourself back in the water. We can't be having that again, Harry. The cops won't come this time.
Everybody knows what happens when I drink gin. I turn into a werewolf.
Oh, some gin for me and my rabbit friend here.
Well, it's a weird thing where it's Harry's graduation party, they say.
Yeah, sure.
But then like he also, this is a fucking dickhead move. Dude, Harry Bailey is such a dickhead. He's like, by the way, Mom, I'm taking like 14 pieces of your good china down to the party. She's like, the fuck you are. So they wind
We
up
don't have that Potter money, man. That's all we have.
They wind up bringing like a bunch of pies and shit too. And it's a weird, like Jimmy Stewart isn't going to go to this party at first, but then when the douche chill conversation happens with his dad, he's like, oh, maybe the party's a great idea.
Well, all right. Well, oh, shit. If I stay home, I got to listen to my dad. I can't put on television. I don't know what's on the radio tonight. Yeah, I'll go to the party.
You took the pies? Those were our car payments, you little shit.
But then it's weird because when they get to this graduation party,
Yeah.
it's like a school dance.
Yes,
It's
it
at
is.
the school. It's in the gymnasium.
There's like chaperones and so on and so forth. I mean, everybody's 18. I'm sure the drink age didn't turn to 21 until like whatever, the 70s.
70s.
Yeah, so like it was fine for them to drink, but it was like a little bit weird.
Also fine to be drinking gin, by the way, so fuck you, Dad. Fuck you, old man
Yeah,
Bailey. I'll
gin.
turn into a werewolf if I want
Actually,
to.
or is it in the middle of Prohibition? When is this? So if it was 1919 when he was 10, he was like 20
I
something.
think Prohibition was already repealed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These are God-fearing parents. They're not going to talk about gin in the house if it's prohibition.
So one of these guys, you get Sam Wainwright back, adult Sam Wainwright. He's doing the
Hee-haw!
and it's fucking shit. Hey, Sam.
Well, it's
Sam. How's it going?
Sam is the same year as George.
Yes, he's
Yes.
older.
So this is also a weird thing where it's like you graduated high school a few years ago and now you're coming back and you're saying hi to all the teachers and the principal and busting balls.
It's all about getting a 17-year-old wife. That's the idea.
That's your
17
ticket.
to 18-year-old wife.
Oh boy! By the way, Prohibition, 1920 to December 5th, 1933.
I was just actually
really?
looking it up too.
So it's probably in the midst of. I think that's why it's like no
So,
gin.
oh, that's maybe why. Yeah,
But
okay.
it's like an no one,
Yeah.
it's like a thing no one polices. It's like marijuana in New York City.
all right now, kids, when you go to that graduation party, no smoking that sick cron. You fucking get home and smoke that under my roof.
You stick to that sour diesel, goddammit.
You know what happens when you smoke that chronic, boy? Turn
cool.
into a werewolf.
Cool weed dad.
Oh
Yeah, just do it in the basement where I could keep my eye on
Man,
it.
it was always weird running into Cool Weed Dad because Cool Weed Dad, oftentimes the Venn diagram of Cool Weed Dad often overlapped quite generously with parents who swing, or at least
Yeah.
were like loose fun enough that they appeared as if they may swing. Those parents were weird.
I grew up with one cool weed dad who I really liked, so I'm going to put that on the record.
Probably-
I've got one example of a cool weed.
Probably
But he was
really likes
swinging?
Wilco now, right?
And one time in high school, like people were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to this like party. It's gonna be great. Oh yeah, it'll all be going on there." And I go there and it's like tons of old people, like parental ages,
Uh-huh.
just drinking and doing drugs with 14-year-olds, no problem.
Wow. I went to one
Like,
of those once.
Like tons of older people congregating with children and getting drunk. It was like, and I was like, well, I'll see you later.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you have to get out
Yeah,
of there.
I don't want to wake up with my pants missing or whatever. I don't know what the end game is
No, yeah,
on
that's a
those
good point.
people.
The end of that story was the house burned to the ground and all the doors were locked.
What is
should've.
this, the Pope's birthday?
So we're at this party. One of his buddies, not Sam Wainwright, is like, "Hey, could you do me a favor, George?" And it's like the shittiest thing for a brother to do to his sister. It's like, "Give out Mary a dance. It will make her a year." And it's like, "Oh
Yep.
man." He's like, "Well, oh God, fucking Mary. Oh wait, she's played by Donna Reed. Hold on."
There is a great, it's a great shot. Frank Capra composed some really nice close-ups. There's a good back and forth between Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, like seeing each other for the first time. Masterful composition. have to
It's
say.
a beautiful. I mean, the movie's beautiful. Like it's
great.
through and through. And also, I bought this on Blu-ray for this taping, and I didn't know it was a 2-disc. It's the most old lady fucking Blu-ray set I've ever gotten. The menu is of a Christmas ball. Like
Oh,
it's just like
Jesus.
my grandson got me my favorite movie.
Did it come with a VHS tape?
No, the second disc is the colorized version.
Of course it is. Yep.
I
I will
actually-
Same
throw
version.
in the grabbage.
I accidentally put that on Amazon last
Yeah.
night. I was like, no.
And what's
Get this
fucked up?
Ted Turner nightmare out of here.
It's so fucked up though because the way Amazon lists them, it's 2 separate selections, like Eric
Right.
said. But the colorized version is the version that just says "It's a Wonderful Life," and then the one that all humanity should watch. It says, It's a Wonderful Life, parentheses, black and white version.
What?
Fucking suck it. No.
that
Colorized
shit. Yes,
version.
exactly.
Yes.
Flip
You
that
assholes. Come on, Bezos, you Grinch.
The shot of the one that always sticks with me is the Gower, the backs with the rows of all the different vials and the backs of the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
when he's doing that. And that is actually the only scene that stayed from Clifford Odets worked on this.
Okay.
And that was the only scene of his that actually stuck in the movie. And it actually does, like, it's the darkest scene, I think, in
Oh
the
my
whole
God!
movie.
Yeah, that whole Gower sequence is very. I mean,
I want the Gower movie.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Gower.
dude.
It's a Wonderful Life. The Gower cut.
No, that would be Clint Eastwood's last movie.
So much poisoning.
So he meets Mary. That they hit it off, obviously, and like she's obviously been in love with him forever, and like. We start doing the
He's obnoxious as fuck in
He
this.
is. Oh, well, because he's like coming back and he's like, he's fucking 22. He's about to go
He's
out.
like, I'm gonna build skyscrapers and
Yeah.
etc.
How
But
dare
he
you
sh-
have dreams?
It's fucking annoying, dude.
He shoves this fucking little freckle-faced nerd
Dude,
out of the way.
yes.
Dude, this is one of the fucking funniest lines in the movie, though. You remember what he says?
No, please.
Because the guy, there's another dude who's talking to Mary.
It's fucking Donna Reed. The line was around the block. Like, holy shit, Donna Reed's at this party?
Absolutely. But it's kind of like the Scram McFly. Like, it's the same thing. But this guy's like, hey, I'm talking to this dame or whatever. And Jimmy Stewart gets in this guy's fucking face and he goes, oh, why don't you stop being so annoying?
Well, because he was like fucking 6'9".
Yeah, don't fuck with Jimmy Stewart, man. Holy shit.
I know this nerd is now displeased with the situation, so he's like, his buddy comes by and he's like, hey, I got the key to open up the pool. Like, you want to kill these people? You want to fucking kill this whole party?
What
We'll
a-
drop them in the pool and then put the floor back together
Oh my
and let them drown.
It's such an insane thing. The principal, who appears to be like this fun-loving fat guy, actually, he's like a Mr. Weatherby type. He's like, oh, and I have to thank so-and-so for giving us the idea to put the gymnasium floor over this pool, saved us a bunch of money on building another building. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But yes, the downside of this is if you have a couple of pranksters at the dance, one of which that just got cock-blocked by George Bailey.
But on the other side of it, you saw the death. Of course
Oh,
you
of
did.
course, yes.
Because that's Eric's thing. But what I saw
love
was
that.
like all these fucking young kids are now like fucking dripping wet, been fucking through
Yep.
it. We're talking orgy time here,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's a great point.
Town orgy.
Thin line between death and horny.
There was like 10 kids born exactly 9 months later after this.
Exactly, dude. You did after this pool incident. You did not want to take a look at the Bedford Falls High locker room.
There is some fun tension here because they're dancing and they think everyone's reacting to their dance moves. But
Charleston
they're,
contest.
yes, he does the Charleston, and they're getting closer and closer to falling into the pool.
Right.
And so everyone's like, oh. And
Yeah.
they eventually do, and then everyone else realizes they want to be horny and wet
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
right.
And they
That's
all
totally
start
right.
jumping in, and who the hell knows what
Even
happens after
Mr.
this.
Weatherby, he's just like, oh, this looks like fun. And then the principal jumps in the pool. What a great
They
night.
didn't get a stuntman for that guy because he like you see like everybody else. I mean, there are clearly stuntmen in this scene where like they jump back in and blah
Right.
blah blah.
Yeah.
But you see this guy, he does like the old fashioned like put my hands together, get ready to dive, and he just goes out of frame. That's enough. And you hear a splash.
Hey, buddy, you wanna get back at Jimmy Stewart? Why don't you do something that's going to guarantee she's going to have to get out of her clothes?
I know, not the best plan.
So we have the very sweet walk home with George and Mary.
She's
Jimmy
wearing-
Stewart's dressed up like
Yeah.
a fucking leatherhead.
Yeah, I guess because they have to wear stuff that was at the school.
Right.
Yeah.
Which back then you could just take shit. It's fine.
Well, it's an emergency.
He's got a big 3 on his chest in honor of Dale Earnhardt, who was born that day. I don't know.
5 boys are running across town, all behind a chalkboard.
Dude, no, I just think people are fucking in the locker room. They're
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
so,
of course.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
boys and boys, boys and girls,
They're-
girls and girls. Everybody's doing it.
At the end of the credits of this film, we should see that pool getting a bunch of chlorine added, like a ton more than usual.
Oh, that's the Marvel Stinger scene.
Dude, I think that scene, there was a deleted scene for It's a Wonderful Life that was directed by Bob Guccione, dude. Fucking Caligula shit. Someone's peering through a fucking little hole in the wall, and there's just like rampant fucking going on.
That would be a great prank, like recutting it, like they recut Caligula or something to add more pornography. Like, if they just like Jimmy Stewart made this movie and they show it to him, and then like there's just graphic sex cut into it. Like,
I don't remember all those juicy cocks in the movie.
They're juicing out.
Wow, I'm fucking huge.
Got a lot of throbbers in here.
Oh my god!
I call them throbbers. What of it?
We've officially ruined this movie for everyone. Try watching this again without thinking about fucking throbbers.
You knew it.
It sounds like it could be an old-timey expression. I love it so much.
Oh, I got my throbbing ears working.
Watch my trick dick.
Oh, mother,
hot dick coming through.
That's when you couldn't get it up. You had a trick dick.
mother, I have a throbber tonight. Maybe we'll send the boys away.
Push the beds together. So we wind up. They're having a very nice walk home. This is the. We're singing Buffalo Girls Won't You Come Out Tonight, and he's making some moves here. And
isn't the Buffalo Girls Won't You Come Out Tonight song? Isn't that what Jasper sings on The Simpsons at one point?
Possibly.
Yes, I think so.
Girls, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight.
When that scene was happening, I was just picturing Jasper from The Simpsons singing.
It's also just the same tune as "Oh, Grandma, she ain't what she used to be." Ain't what she.
Well, I think back then there was like 5 songs.
Yes,
like 5 melodies made up 60 songs.
His idea of romancing this woman is like, hey, let's vandalize this fucking house. Fuck those people.
It's a town tradition, dude.
Right.
It's the old ghost house.
Right, it's a derelict house.
This is when this movie gets really dark because he's like, you make a wish and you fucking throw at this house. So he makes a wish and it's like, I'm gonna see 20 continents and all. Well, that's his like big like
20 continents.
I'm going to Alpha Centauri.
20 countries.
There it is.
And she makes a wish and she doesn't tell him what it is.
Right.
Later in the movie, she lets him know that they would be married and he stays in town because what happens later in this scene is all her fault. It's her dark wish comes true. There's a gin in that house.
Throw rocks at me, will you?
All right, Mary, you'll get the man of your dreams, but his dreams will never come true.
Mary, I'll grant you your wish, but wouldn't you also want to see that principal have a heart attack?
I guess so.
Oh yes, you want
Perfect.
Well, no, it is. Yes, you want him to stay in town. Maybe he'll have his father will have a stroke.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
totally.
right.
There's a gin in that house, my friend.
So
It's a
right,
gin house.
right foot, no gin tonight. Better not have any gin.
No, that's what he's saying. Don't talk to any gin.
I know
tonight.
your father told you no gin tonight, but one wish wouldn't
I didn't
kill
mean
you.
it. My throbber rubbed up against a lamp. Gin came out.
fucking decade ago, I asked him if I could have sex with Edith Wharton, and never heard the end of it since, son.
No, so this is also, it's fucking great because they're like super flirting right here. She's wearing like
A bathrobe.
a bathrobe with like the tie on the bathrobe keeps falling or whatever. One of my favorite characters of this movie, I think he's totally unsung, is old pervert on the porch.
Yes.
This guy's like, hey,
Why don't you just kiss her already and get it over with? I'm gonna lose my throbber in a minute. Hey, take her shirt off. Take her shirt off. Just kiss her neck a little bit.
and the guy's like, what? Jimmy Stewart's like, what'd you say? What, you want me to kiss her?
Yeah,
I said,
work her yams.
Help her, George. Help her.
Hey, real quick. All right, I'm going inside. You kids, youth is waste on the youth, et cetera, et cetera. Quick question. Can I see your feet real quick? Before I turn in, can I just see your feet?
Give me a taste. Look at those tootsies. Yeah, that'll give me a couple of weeks.
You buy this girl some heels, young man.
Some stompers.
So this is the famous, you want the moon, Mary? I'll throw a lasso around and pull it down for you.
Right.
Kiefer Sutherland's going to commit suicide in a horse barn. Kirsten Dunst is going to fuck a stranger on a golf course.
Who?
You know. Also Jimmy Stewart, when that dude is talking shit, by the way, he fucking throws out, I'll show you kissing that'll put hair on the back of your neck.
Oh, yeah, it's a fucking...
Or hair back on your head, he
yes,
says.
it's a nice bald burn. So he winds up... he steps on a rope it seems by accident.
Totally by accident.
And her clothes fall off. She goes into the bushes to hide. And it's a very interesting situation.
You say accident. I think this was a Roger Dodger-esque scam. He learned it from his pervert Uncle Billy.
Hey, Sam, yeah, I did the robe trick again. It worked.
Now,
I'm 3 for 3 on the robe trick.
now, if you want to see the caboose, you just look at your watch and do a little spin.
So she's in the bushes. We're flirting. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to give you your robe back. You know, it's all in good fun.
Oh, yeah.
But her dark wish comes true because this fucking truck comes by and they're like, your dad had a stroke right this second. It happened like, I don't know, 30. When did she throw that rock? Exactly when that happened.
And so, yeah, we sort of like flash forward again to like a few months later. The dad has died from the stroke, and Jimmy Stewart and Uncle Billy are in the process of like maybe dissolving this fucking building and loan business and like letting Potter take it over. There's a whole board of directors that has to like make some
sort
decision.
of situation, yeah. And like basically, yeah, it's he's giving one last speech to keep it open, but he's like, but I am, as you all know, leaving in 5 fucking minutes. 5
As you all know,
minutes.
I fucking hate your rotten guts, each and every last one of you. And this is where he is. He's now finally primed. He's leaving for college. He's going to go to college, but he has to give one last speech about, like, he stands up for the working man. This is where he's talking about, like, you know, these people shouldn't be having to save every single fucking penny they make in order to save for a place to live. Like, they should have a place to live now. They can fucking invest in our businesses in Bedford Falls.
It takes a working man a long time to get $5,000. Even me.
And then he starts. Oh yeah, dude.
All these years later.
Well, yeah, we're talking about $5,000, but adjusted for inflation, what he's talking about is like $80,000.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, but yeah.
And it's great because he starts getting in Potter's face right here. He calls him you're a warped, frustrated old man.
I mean, this is all. I mean, like, there's a lot of lessons to learn from this movie, and I mean, Potter is the embodiment of pure evil. But it's always a better plan to not say that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You never know who you're gonna need later.
Oh
in
no,
life.
I said the loud part quiet, the quiet part loud.
Exactly. It's like, you know what, Mr. Potter, we have a lot of disagreements, but you know, in any case, like,
You're a man who, I don't know, knows business good. All right, I did it.
Well, because he just keeps burning this bridge over and over. And your dick probably doesn't work in that wheelchair. It's like, wait, all right, that's too far, dude.
It's not that. Like, he brings this all on himself because it's not just him. He gets the whole town to get in on it.
Yeah.
Everybody's making fun of Potter all over the place.
Well, there's a line that comes up quite a bit where in the movie, a bunch of people repeat it about, like, you shouldn't have to do X while also having to crawl to Potter.
Yeah.
Get down on your hands and knees and crawl to Potter.
So he leaves. He gives this big impassioned speech. He leaves, him and Uncle Billy. And Billy's like, wow, you did a great job. And in the boardroom meeting, they make this decision that the only way the building and loan will stay open is if Jimmy Stewart runs it.
Right. Also, here's a question about the office environment at the building and loan. What's with that crow?
Dude, the fucking, I mean, hey, it's a raven, by the way.
It's a raven.
Played by Jimmy the Raven, who was in a bunch of Capra movies, apparently.
What the fuck?
I have no idea. Yeah, it's me, Jimmy the Raven.
I'm worth $10 million.
yeah, Jimmy, I don't know what to tell you. I just really like birds.
It's so weird.
But there's like this weird thing where like Uncle Billy likes weird animals. I think he's like an odd collector.
Oh, the rumors are true.
The rumors
Yeah, dude, he lives in a big fucking fish tank.
we will talk about the rumors in a little while. But I think it's just like you're trying to like show that this business is going to survive. There's a fucking raven in there waiting to pull the eyes out of your head.
Dude, exactly. He's waiting to pick the bones of this operation clean.
I was waiting for him to let it go eventually and then go out like the old man from Shawshank.
Oh yeah,
that was my dream when I was rewatching it.
So of course
Jimmy the Raven, by the way, Wikipedia entry.
Wow, a full page.
Wait, hold on. He appeared in more
Married Gloria Grahame.
He appeared in
Secretary of the Interior in 1978. What?
He appeared in more than 1,000 feature films from the 1930s to the 50s. He first appeared in You Can't Take It With You. He landed on the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz.
Whoa.
Like what? This guy worked like a fucking porn star. 1,000 movies.
Well, no,
This bird is Hollywood royalty. Does he have a star? He better have a star.
Well, and then Tarantino gave him a bit part in Jackie Brown.
Just his feet, though. Those are some hot talons.
Jimmy the Raven had 21 stand-ins, 15 of which were female, who would fill in for him when the scene did not require any tricks or movement.
or if it wasn't a close-up on bird genitalia.
Jimmy the Raven received a Red Cross gold medal
Whoa.
for 200 hours spent entertaining veterans after the war.
What? Did the Raven go on like USO tours
I
and
think
stuff?
he did.
Hey, look, everyone. It's a Raven.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have to apologize. These strippers aren't coming, but look at this Raven's pretty sharp.
Can fly in a circle.
I'm Bob Hope. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. I'm going to tell some jokes. It's a real honor to be opening for Jimmy the Raven. Yeah.
Did he sing "America the Beautiful"?
I don't know
His
what's
fucking
going
What's
on.
going on?
How did he die? Was it a Hollywood scandal?
His pills. No,
It was mysterious. There were like pills found in his anus.
It was
So
actually
like-
crazy, dude. He was cut in half and left in a field.
No,
They never solved
no,
it.
no. Like everything else, Robert Wagner did it.
Oh my God. He was on the boat, you think?
Birds can't fly underwater.
Go for a swim, Jimmy.
It's me, Natalie Wood, Robert Wagner, and Jimmy the Raven.
Oh man, if only they would have pinned it on Jimmy the Raven.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
actually true.
No,
I
you got-
will say right now, if he doesn't have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, let's get a petition going for Jimmy the Raven because you know there's a bunch of weirdo golden age of Hollywood obsessives that would like to fight for
Just
that.
replace Trump's.
Oh, yes.
Yes, with Jimmy the Raven.
Exactly.
The only thing they say here, he has his footprints enshrined in cement at a large Los Angeles pet store alongside Lassie and other Hollywood animal stars.
Aw.
So that's nice.
I can't believe there's that much to come out of the fucking bird in the office in this movie.
Don't worry about it, man.
Was there another, like, was there a sequel to Jimmy the Raven also called Jimmy the Raven? Because for Lassie, right, there's like 4
Oh, yeah,
of those
like 10
fuckers.
Lassies.
Yeah, a lot of Lassie.
You can't-
Bullshit, dude. Pick a different name.
So we kind of flash forward. He sends Harry off to college with the money that he would have sent.
Oh, he
Right.
becomes a football star. You know,
Oh, he's fucking everybody.
fucking and suck until the sun comes up. Don't worry about
He
it.
comes
He's having
back-
a great time.
He comes back married, and like even Jimmy
No
Stewart's
one
like,
is invited to this fucking wedding.
exactly. This guy sent you to fucking college. He's even like, ha ha. He's like joking around. He's like, oh, why don't you tell somebody next time?
Well,
It's
No,
like, yeah,
I think go ahead.
The wedding might have involved a shotgun.
Oh, I see. Oh, he got into trouble in college, you think, Chris?
Yes.
A little bit
That's
of trouble?
like- well, he's gonna go work at a glass factory in Rochester, which is exactly what something like Matt Dillon in The House That Jack Built would do for a life when he was covering up his other crimes.
I mean,
we're going to get into this fucking glass factory horse shit.
But it's a thing where there's two things. One, I think there is a high probability that Chris is correct. But also, I think another thing is the wedding massive industry that we know it as
I see
they
what you're
didn't
saying.
really exist. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you got married? That's cool.
Yeah, well, because you didn't
I
have to
guess-
fucking spend him.
Yeah. Oh, thank God we didn't have to fucking shell out for this.
Right.
Thank you so much.
I guess eloping was more of a thing, but like, I don't know. I think you should let your close
Yeah, your
family know. Like,
Especially your
no.
brother who's literally holding a bag for you
Right.
for 4 years.
Yeah, you're right.
So he comes back. This is all at the train station. It's a really nice shot.
It's also really awkward though because Jimmy Stewart is just like, oh, that's right, Uncle Billy. He's gonna come back here. He's gonna take over the building and loan. I got a good job for him set up, and then fucking finally, I can enter higher education.
I'm 29 years old. I can step foot out of fucking Bedford goddamn Falls.
And he's constantly telling people like, just like, oh yeah, well, you know, most of my friends they've finished college already, so I've got, and like I cannot imagine having the like bottomless well of positivity and forward thinking that George Bailey has. It's like Ned Flanders.
I mean, he has that scene where it's him and Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, and they're drinking blue milk. And
Right.
He's like, well, I want to. Most of my friends have gone to the academy already, Uncle Owen. Can I go? He's like, well, it's just one more year. harvest when I need you the most. Speaking of that, we did a whole episode on Star Wars on patreon.com/wehatemovies that you can find right now for $5, and you get a ton of extra awesome stuff.
We're doing a bunch of remakes of It's a Wonderful Life. Like Back to the Future borrows heavily from this.
Well, Back to the Future 2.
Both of them. That grave scene from Back to the Future 2 is in this movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
that's also like
the majority of Back to the Future 2 in all of alternate 1985 is Potter's.
Yes.
But that entire thing.
Also 2018 and 2019. Real life.
He meets his wife, and his wife is like, "Oh yes, we love Harry. My father loves him even more. He got this great job at a glass factory."
Oh, hold up a second, Blondie. What the fuck you say about a glass factory?
And she's like,
"Who's my brother blowing glass?"
And she's like, "It's gonna be great." And then Harry comes up to us, No, George, I haven't said yes to anything yet," which is a horseshit.
Oh yeah, he's full
Harry,
of
you
shit.
fucking snake.
Well, that's you know what? He can have this conversation with him, but it better be in fucking private. And you better be ready for a 4-hour conversation. Not just like, hey, I'm at the train station. Guess what? I got a job, buddy.
But it's also like, not for nothing. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, if he was like, "Look, George, I know you've been holding the bag. I know we had an agreement, but I literally just, the New York Giants or whatever the fuck, I'm a football star. It's an opportunity I can't turn down."
Right.
Or like, I've got to do this crazy thing. Like, it's $1 million. It's a fucking job at a glass factory. Get out of here.
Doing research. Into what? We figured it out.
It's
Whoa.
glass. We did it. We made the glass.
Harry, did you figure out if those shards were sharp?
We must do research into the glass factory because the only man who had the recipe for blowing the glass died, and he didn't tell anyone about it.
Lesser known Herzog film called Heart of Glass. Right?
Oh, it's a good one.
That's the plot of that
It's
film.
entirely of Werner Herzog singing the Blondie song.
It's really he's going to be a real hotshot down at the glass factory. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe glass futures were big back then.
Is
And
he-
she even says, like, it's not that much money now, but it could be big in a couple of years. And I'm
Right, like he's got room to move.
Is he a war veteran already now?
No,
Or
not yet.
That's
He will-
next.
that's-
Okay,
yeah,
the
so,
war
but-
hero portion of the film, everyone.
Yeah, so he winds up, it's like, okay, fine, I guess he gets kind of guilted into it. It's like, well, this is what my brother wants to do, you know what I mean? I guess
Right.
I will yet again put my dreams, not even on hold, I'll just pretty much put them.
I
Because
will erase them.
He kind of becomes bitter at this point, obviously.
Right.
Well,
it's
right
been a
after-
fucking decade, by the way.
Dude, he becomes bitter and drunk right here. Only after, at the last second, organizing a fucking wedding reception. They're having a party at the house.
Yeah.
For who? Oh, yes, it's
At the
okay.
Bailey house.
That's
He's
what
like,
that
oh,
is,
we got to throw you a big fucking party now, I guess. Well, whoop-de-fuck.
Would you like me to lay on the floor? You can walk over my back.
I want you to have another fucking Charleston contest on my fucking
Why don't you
back.
piss on my face, Harry?
Oh, you need to cut the cake? You could take the knife out of my shoulder blade, you fuck.
Seriously.
I mean, like, yeah, Harry is one of the world's biggest fucking pieces of shit. So, like, we're having this party. His mother, George's mother, comes up to us like, that Mary, whatever her maiden name is asking for you.
Yeah.
You should go over there, call on her.
Well, this is one of those moments where I'm like, holy fuck, are you really doing this? So they're having this conversation. And then,
Hatch, by the way, is the maiden name.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Mary Hatch.
So Jimmy Stewart is like sarcastically saying, "Oh, yeah, mother, I'm going to go out for a night of passionate necking," which is like telling your mother you're going to do anal tonight at the time.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Jesus.
And I ain't going to wrap it up.
What will be, will be.
I was actually shocked because he sends Uncle Billy off and he's like, yeah, puts his hat on. It's a fun, like, drunk Uncle Billy because this guy's a full-blown fucking 3-bottle-a-day alcoholic.
Oh, absolutely.
And he goes up. I thought he was getting in the car, but it seems like he's just walking.
Well, no, he's got to go.
Did you read the thing about this though? Because
What?
like the shot is we're outside of the Bailey house, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna walk that way, Uncle Billy. You fucking burden to us all. Good night." And I guess when
Hey, the bridge is that way.
somebody on the set, like a prop master or something, knocked a bunch of shit over,
Yeah.
and there was a huge sound that got picked up on the microphone, and Jimmy Stewart starts laughing.
Yeah.
The guy playing Uncle Billy had the foresight to try to save the take, to say, like, that's all right, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And Capra left the whole thing in.
Now, Billy, don't you get your crow drunk again. Don't you do it again. You hear me, Billy?
My crow likes beer. Look. Oh, Uncle Billy.
Fucking little creep ass. So he winds up calling on Mary Hatch at his mom's behest. He is drunk at this point, right?
He's wasted, but also he just wanders because there's a weird thing where he's like, I'm going to walk that way. And she's like, Mary's house is this way.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you meddling bitch.
Because he bumps into Violet.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
And he is ready to go, and she is ready to go at first until he lets it go. Oh, take your shoes off and go barefoot in the fields.
And she's disgusted by this. Oh my God.
Not only is she disgusted by it, the entire town stopped to listen to him try to pick up this girl, and they're laughing at him.
Hold on, he interrupts a threesome that was about to happen.
It's insane though, dude, because these two guys are like talking to Violet, and then like she goes to say hi to Jimmy Stewart, and the guy's like, are you fucking kidding me? And the older dude is just like, no, I've seen this 100 times. Just hang out. She'll be back. No. He's probably going to say something about walking barefoot up a hill. She's going to get disgusted and walk away while the whole town laughs at him. Then when she comes back, Eiffel Tower time.
Yes. Ready for that high five, bud.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But like,
Why would you fucking have that? Like, I'm sorry, this is not a Christmas film.
Oh, hi, Vi. Can I see your tootsies for a while?
Oh, yeah, I just want to look at your wet feet in the snow.
I guess in defense of what they would say, it's like, oh, she had suitors lined up, and they weren't actually about to go to,
Yeah.
go fuck.
but
Yeah.
I guess it's the subtext. Yeah.
Right.
In any event, he does wind up wandering over to Mary's house. He's wasted. He's bitter. He's tired. His brother just fucking literally ruined his wonderful life
Again.
for the second time. And, he calls on her, and Mary is... I mean, this is all...
She's yelling at him out the window.
She is. She calls him in. And I mean, because this girl is fucking thirsty. And also, this is a defense for why anyone should have sex in college. You shouldn't be holding on to, like, some night you had with some
Right.
guy 4 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
that's why you go to college. You figure shit out. You get a couple
Get
of boyfriends.
quenched. Stop the thirst. Get quenched.
You get a couple of boyfriends under your belt, and then you figure yourself out there in the process. But no, she's like, she puts on the fucking album Buffalo Girls, which should come out tonight. She's got a sign that says George Bailey's gonna lasso the moon. This lady's fucking nuts at this point.
It's the movie The Loved Ones, if anybody's seen it, which is great. But it's creepy. It's like a whatever happened to Baby Jane,
Yes,
type
exactly.
situation where she's just obsessed with the past.
It's really, really weird.
Surprised she didn't come in with caked up makeup all over her face and weird lipstick.
I was in a Three Stooges short once.
So she winds up, she like is laying it on real thick. He's not having it because he's drunk and he's angry. I guess Sam Wainwright is also kind of trying to get in there a little bit.
Well, this was the thing, because this part in
By the way,
particular,
Sam Wainwright is the father of Loudon Wainwright III.
right?
and,
Of course,
Rufus
and then
Wainwright.
of course Rufus,
Wainwright.
yeah.
Sam Wainwright is trying to get into everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Whatever
this-
he can get.
This reminded me a lot of a very similar film in the sense that it's not a Christmas movie, but a second of it takes place at Christmas, so people watch it at Christmas.
Sure.
Which is Meet Me in St. Louis, and there's there's a very similar scene where it's like, they're yelling at what's her face, Judy Garland. They're like, oh, you got to fucking hang by the phone, man, because he's going to be calling you from college.
Yeah.
So you got to spend your whole night just waiting for some dweeb to call you on the phone because it's going to cost $37,000 to make this phone call.
Jesus.
And her mom is like, Sam Wainwright's going to call you. You know what?
Oh, these meddling parents. It's disgusting.
Wainwright calls, and like it's this weird thing. Like Stewart's about to leave because like, all right, Wainwright's calling, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to make him jealous for a second, and then like Wainwright's like, oh, my buddy George is there. Put him on the phone. And
Hee-haw, by the way. Did I say hee-haw yet? I've been on the phone for 20 seconds. I got to say my catchphrase.
Did your mother hear the hee-haw? Maybe get her down here and I'll hee-haw again for her.
I mean, thank God that guy guy got rich. That's the only way he was ever going to get laid.
Yeah, absolutely. Paying for it.
So it's this weird, it's a scene that kind of makes sense, but it's very weird where like Sam is trying to get them both to get in on his plastics idea.
Right.
But as they're doing it, they're falling in love, I guess.
Well, because like it's a proximity situation again, because the fucking horny barometer is exploding at this point. So it's like, oh my god, because he wants them both.
Whiskey dick is wearing off. Hold on, got myself a throbber going on.
Oh wow, a surprise throbber.
I thought I was done for the night.
Because like he's like, I want you both to hear this proposal, so they have to get next to the telephone receiver, and yeah, it's like a proximity thing. Like they're just there. He's smelling her.
Yeah, sure.
You know, she's probably got some nice perfume on, and it's just like that.
Oh, and she's digging it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and they
boy.
they're ready to go. Right before this, Donna Reed and the mother have a fucking hilarious exchange where the mother is at the top of the stairs and she's like, "Who's down, Mary? Who's down there?"
yeah.
And she goes, "It's George Bailey, mother. He's making violent love to me." The fact that this old woman doesn't throw up down the staircase was very surprising.
Doesn't set the house on fire.
I've had violent love. It was with the Kaiser. And
He used that hat.
Oh, the passion.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Absolutely.
So they wind up, they get married because they like each other, and he's like 25. She's about now 22, which is very close.
Dodge that bullet.
Dude, she
Dodge
was
that
a
bullet.
year away from being an old maid.
right.
So
She's gonna be wearing a wig made out of cobwebs in another week.
they get married, and again, here we
Oh,
go.
God.
We are about to go on our honeymoon. We're fucking thrilled. Ernie, the cab driver, is going to take us out of town.
They've got $2,000 in the fucking kitty, by the way. That's like
That's like 10 grand.
$18 million.
I mean, like, I really feel like this is a Truman Show situation. If Jimmy Stewart like gets in a boat, he's gonna hit the edge of it.
Break through the
And
set.
Ed Harris is just like, "Oh, George Bailey, I've watched you your whole life."
And if I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Cue the moon.
Giovanni's like, "Oh, you sure?" Oh shit.
Oh, but I like this guy. He seems like, oh, shit.
They're about to leave. You know, they're about to get to the train station. It's beautiful. They had a beautiful wedding. They're madly in love. They're going to go to New York. They're going to go to London and all sorts of great, cool shit. And of course,
Whoa, wait a second. I'm sorry. Because inflation fascinates me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's crazy.
$2,000 in 1946. In 2017, $25,534.
What?
Yep. This is
Yeah.
the take that they got from their
When,
wedding.
when Uncle Billy later in the film loses $8,000 in today's money, I read on the train this morning that it's $110,000.
Gee, yeah, that dude should be in jail.
He absolutely should.
That is insane.
Anyway, sorry.
And they should murder Potter, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
The Great Depression is just about to hit, I guess, is the idea.
Right.
And everyone is rushing to the bank to the building and loan to pull their money out.
Right.
And like Jimmy Stewart's like, fucking work. It's like you're about to go and you're an idiot. You check your work email real quick.
Yep.
And you got like 3 exclamation points, and you got to be like, all right, I got to deal with this.
And Mary knows the score, though. She's like, please don't go back there. Just
don't
get
bother.
back in the cab. Get
Let's
back in the
get
fucking cab.
and let's enjoy ourselves for fucking once in our goddamn lives.
Let's just go on this trip. I want to know every nook and cranny of your fucking body. Every last
You want a
hidden-
nook of my throbber?
I want to know if this town has an exit. That's what I want to know. Is there a way out of this town?
Only Harry knows it. It's like a tunnel system or something.
I'm sure Harry was too fucking busy to go to the wedding, by the way. Oh,
he
sorry.
doesn't
Glass
give a
Factory's
fuck.
got me real busy.
Yeah.
The cab driver has a creeptacular line right here. Did you catch this?
Oh, yeah, he's
Ernie?
Ernie himself, dude. He's
Wow.
got a line right here because they get in the cab. It says just married. They're in the back kind of canoodling or whatever. And she's like, here's how we're going to spend this fucking $2,000, George Bailey. You're going to have enough throbbers to last a lifetime, or like whatever they're saying.
Sure.
This dude says, he's looking in the mirror at them and he goes, if either of you two see a stranger around here, it's me.
And then he says, Some nights I clean off the blood. Some nights I clean off the cum.
Ignore the camera, folks. It's just there for security reasons.
One day a real rain will come and wash the scum off the streets.
Of Bedford Falls?
Yes.
So they're doing a run on the bank, they call it, when everyone's trying to get out. Jimmy Stewart goes in there, and this is the famous, "Oh, your money's not here. It's at Tom's house and Bill's house."
This is also, it's a weird, this is happening at the same time. Potter is staging a coup in where he's taken over the bank.
Yeah. He already
How is this a thing? How do you buy a bank?
They do it all the time.
Ask
man.
Jeff Bezos, dude.
Did he buy a bank?
No, but I
Well,
mean,
he bought a newspaper.
He bought a newspaper. He bought New York. So I mean, like, you can just do what you want. If you have enough money, you could buy.
It's
shit
just
like
so insane. Also,
also
I
is
don't
like-
know how like things like the stock market work. So
Yeah.
it's whatever.
He was also like, because he calls him up at his thing. It's like, hey, look, if any of your people want their money back, they can come over to me and I'll give them 50 cents on the dollar for it.
fucking savage deal.
And fucking Potter is like, oh, do you want me to send some cops over to your place? I'm like, dude, you got the cops in your pocket?
Kid, I own the police.
Absolutely.
And he's like, no, you know what, Potter? You're nothing but an old fucking piece of shit. You suck shit, Potter. You suck shit in your ugly mouth.
He says something like, because mobs can get pretty out of hand, Mr. Bailey.
He hangs up on him, and like the idea is that they could stay open the whole day, that it'll all work out, or some nonsense. I mean,
Right, because like the bank will reopen next week, so presumably it's Friday night or something.
oh yeah, I get you saying. So they just have to stay up till 5 or till 6 rather. So they're doing that, and they like this is the thing where it's like, all right, and of course Donna Reed's like, well, we do have this $2,000.
This is insane. It's so insane.
She's like, oh, great idea. So it's like, who wants what? What'll get you through the next week before the bank opens? Because
Right.
Venmo doesn't exist just yet. I can't really.
Not just yet.
No one has debit cards, so like literally, if the bank closes, your money is gone.
This is why, like, man, cash. What a pointless thing.
So
It just is.
in any event, he starts giving out all this money, and like he gives away all of his money. They have $2 left. He goes.
Oh God, this is the saddest thing.
Ernie and Bert the cop are like, "Oh, hey, dude, you want to come back to your house?" He's like, what house? And like earlier in the movie, Donna Reed had said like, "Oh, I love that old house, the house they're throwing rocks at. Like, that's my dream to live there."
Mm-hmm.
They go to this fucking dilapidated fucking
Fucking old
mansion.
insane asylum.
These people have now hung like travel posters and stuff in every
God.
window. Just to make it seem like they're going somewhere, even though they're not, and they never will.
Dude,
And-
talk about haunted honeymoon.
This
by
is
the way.
fucking great. This is like a Fight Club house, dude.
It is.
Fucking water pouring in every nook and cranny is just disgusting.
But the worst of it all is fucking George and Mary are about to bone.
Yeah,
and then,
totally.
And fucking we cut and Bert and Ernie are outside singing some Perry Como horse shit. And I'm like, these people are trying to fuck to this, buddy. Like you'd be better off doing, my neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack.
Well, that's when Eric got married, we all hung outside of his hotel. When Eric lost his virginity right after he got married, we all hung outside.
Obviously, I saved myself till marriage.
Yeah, of course, everyone did. As did I. I actually just got married last month. I finally lost my virginity. It's really
How was
exciting.
the sex?
It was
Congratulations.
fantastic. We all sang out. We did a little barbershop quartet because A, we wanted to make it romantic for him, and B, we wanted to hear it. I mean, we're just buddies. We want to hear it.
I can't get a throbber without hearing that.
Let me see that thong.
Thong, thong, thong.
I just can't imagine
Guys, I'm popping a tent already. Guys, just stop.
like your hometown pitching in to get you wet.
But also, the funny thing is, I think the idea is like Ernie, the cab driver's there to drive him, but Bert the cop was there to fucking clean that house out of vagrants. He came
Yes.
in with a fucking nightstick and it was like,
What's all? It's
moving along, this is George Bailey's house.
Where I lived here for 20 goddamn years. George Bailey.
no, someone else is trespassing and having sex in here tonight. Move along.
The cop is like fucking shooing a bunch of raccoons out of the living room.
So they stay. They clearly they had sex. So they have to have 1 million kids at this point.
Absolutely.
At what point does Potter offer him a job?
It's kind of around. It's pretty much right around here.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't know if it's another time jump or what. No, he doesn't have kids yet. It's like that's right. This is when they build Bailey Field or Bailey Park.
Bailey Park.
He starts being like kind of successful, like taking the show out on the road a little bit, like developing this like affordable housing for people.
He's selling his houses to Italians of all people.
Oh.
What?
Yes, it's we meet Mr. Martini, and they're giving a whole like speech. Like it's really nice. Like Donna reads like, "This bread will for your family. This salt will always give your life flavor, and this wine will blah, 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 blah."
Yeah, which is very nice.
And it's on Martini's daughter's wedding day, so he can't refuse anybody.
That's absolutely right. So George Bailey asks Martini to strangle Mr. Potter with a piano wire.
Luca Brazzi. Oh, Luca Brazzi. Come on, Luca.
Don Bailey, I am very honored to be attending the day of your daughter's wedding.
Oh God! You know what? Get the Russians. They cut throats in fucking barbershops just as good as we do. Honestly, just fucking do it.
This is a fucked up part though, because while they're like doing this whole ceremony or whatever for the Martini family, who rolls up but fucking beep beep Mr. Hee Haw, and he's like a bajillionaire, and this is kind of like a gray matter situation.
Why?
Because it's like George Bailey is Walter White.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's like,
right.
no, I don't want to get involved in your fucking
That's
plastics gray matter situation, motherfucker. Get out of here with that
Yep.
scam. And here he comes like, oh, cool. That's pretty quaint, George. You're helping Italians find housing. I just made $25 million last year. Bye.
They're like going to go on their own trip, and he's like, oh, you fucking piece of shit.
God, I fucking hate that guy. I hope the goddamn car goes off a goddamn bridge.
Oh, he's better go to that house and throw some rocks.
I better go home and throw rocks at my house.
So Potter invites him over for a meeting, and it's like, listen, you've beaten me, George Bailey. Everyone in the town hates me at this point.
Dude, that is a great line.
Mission accomplished.
He's like, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. You gotta hand it to Potter, though, man. This guy doesn't give a fuck about anything. You could like take a bunch of shit and smear it on Potter's window, and he'd be like, well, whatever, I'm still worth 100 times you.
And he's like, well, what do you make, Bailey? $50? He's like, 45. And he's like, well,
Get your details right, Potter.
and basically that's like the equivalent of 20 grand. He's like, well, what if I were to give you a job working for me for $20,000 a year, which is $250,000 a year.
Take it. Just take
Just
it.
take it, dude. Just take it.
Sorry.
Dude, sink it from the inside.
Exactly.
That's exactly right, dude.
Just be a horrible employee.
And also, like, Potter doesn't have anybody. Maybe he turns the reins over to you when he dies, which, I mean...
Which you could, you know where the poison pills are kept at the
That's
druggist.
That's
Get
actually
Gower
true.
involved in there.
Oh, yeah,
Get
dude,
old man
give him-
Gower.
Come on,
Gower
Mr. Gower.
treatment.
Come on. You always hated Mr. Potter, right? The whole fucking town does.
Oh, I got a nice big cup of tea for you, Mr. Potter.
Have one of your new kids. Send it over. Be fine.
The new boy. So he turns it down. He's like, it's funny. He's about to do it. He's like, I got to talk to my wife. He shakes his head and he's like, this is fucking disgusting. This old fucking snake.
Dude,
and then
it's
he gives
awesome.
another speech about what a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're a spider.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, it's so great, though, because like the look of he's like physically disgusted that he touched this person. It's
Mr.
great.
Potter, you suck shit through a straw.
He goes home to tell Mary all about it. Mary's like, guess what? I'm pregnant. And then we cut to now we're cutting to Christmas Eve, right?
No. This is the war.
Oh,
montage.
the war's about to
See,
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. This
right.
isn't a Christmas movie, but quick thing about this bedroom scene.
Uh-huh.
So, like, he spends this like time with Mr. Potter or whatever. It's late at night when he gets home.
Yeah.
Donna Reed is already asleep, and he's like taking off his 19-piece suit, thinking about the offer that Mr. Potter gave, and then all of a sudden, quietly from the bed, you hear the signal. Buffalo girl, won't you come out tonight? Like she's pretending to be asleep, but then it's like, hey,
Hey.
I'm singing our song.
It's
Let's
a-
get fucking.
It's a
Wait.
classic you up.
So wait, is the buffalo gals his penis?
No, it's just the sign. Dude. Like
but
if you
it's not.
when you hear that song, you better get your hot throbber ready.
So it's not a direction or anything.
no.
Okay.
It's just like when you hear that tune, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
And also, guess what? I'm pregnant, so now I can't get pregnant again. Let's
Yep.
go for it.
Let's
man.
do it like right. No time like the present.
I mean, you just burned down all the bridges, so let's go and do it.
And I do love, but this movie, because it's in 1946, we said this was?
When it came out,
So it's like, the war. Of course, you have to have like a long war sequence about, and everyone pitched in. Like Ernie the cab driver did this, and Bert the cop
right.
did that.
There's like a montage of like this whole town came
Bert the
together.
cop ran an internment camp. Like all sorts of. Everyone's a hero.
George Bailey was declared 4F, but just to make sure he got out of the war, for some reason he declared allegiance to Germany.
really sealed the deal on that one.
He started something called the Boot Camps.
I said I wanted to travel, not die.
Sorry.
He becomes George. Like it's a weird thing where it's like even though George Bailey couldn't serve in the war, he did his part. He like becomes an air raid warden, and he's organizing all of these like rubber drives and plastic drives. But the fucking crazy thing is, they say that Mr. Potter became the head of the draft board in town.
And he's like, 1A, 1A. I will send you to die. Oh, you're gone. You're going right to the front line.
Oh, the Koch brothers are going to draft us into something by the end of this shit, dude.
Oh, probably the robot wars, dude.
You called me a pig monster.
His
1A.
laundry list of people who have insulted him or crossed him over the years.
My son is 8 years old. 1A.
His kickball came into my backyard. 1A.
And of
Meanwhile,
course,
he's also selling machine parts to Germany.
absolutely.
Oh, well, my coffee's a little cold. 1A for you.
But so, of course, Harry Bailey is this like ace fighter pilot. He saves a ship full of people at one point that's about to get bombed.
He's about to, and now we're on Christmas. He just gets the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Right.
And George isn't even fucking invited. His mother goes, which is fine, but like, can I just... Hey, Mr. Truman, can I have my brother come too, please? Is it possible?
I have literally two people in my family. No, fuck Uncle Billy. I have two people in my
Oh, yeah,
family.
dude, Uncle Billy eat my ass.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Don't even bother trying to get a seat for Uncle Billy. He's not going to even remember it. It's going to be a waste of a seat. Leave him at home or kill him.
I do think the Truman Show thing is like real, or like he just can't leave that town.
Right.
Yeah.
It just stops.
It's physical. He can't even. That's the thing. He doesn't even takes a weekend. It's never like, oh, we did a weekend down in even Shanaka Falls or something. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like anything. We went to
Going
Canada
to see
for
Niagara.
exactly. Do something.
I started buying cocaine free from the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Oh, right. You could just buy cocaine from the
Heroin,
pharmacy.
you could fucking load up on heroin at the
What a
time.
time.
Maybe
to
that's
be
how
alive.
Gower stayed alive, man. He kept himself fucking neat.
Oh, he's just fucking pickled like Shane McGowan.
Oh, grandson, you got me a fruitcake. 1A.
The war's over, Mr. Potter. 1A.
So with less than an hour left in the movie, we finally get to Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve, and Uncle Billy is being an asshole again. Uncle Billy's got why you would ever? There's $8,000 we have to deposit by the end of the day.
Yep.
Why? There's 4 people in that office, including George Bailey.
And the fucking crow.
I would so give it to Jimmy the Raven.
Oh, Raven, excuse me.
But like, he's like, why you would give $8,000 to Uncle Billy to deposit? I have no fucking
Insane.
clue.
Yeah, who is that woman? What's that other little mousy guy?
Yeah.
Eustace or
And
whatever that
again,
guy's name is.
It's not just $8,000. $110,000 is a
Right.
day's money.
Right, you're right.
And he's just
Fucking
walking
crazy.
around with it. And he's filling out the deposit slip. And Mr. Potter comes in, and he's got the newspaper. He's like, you see that, Mr. Potter? The Bailey boys did all right. And he's like, he has to be a little fucking asshole about it. 'Cause he's wasted already.
He knows. He sent them there.
Exactly. Everyone knows. In any event, he winds up in this kerfuffle. Uncle Billy creates this entire
100%.
situation, and he gives Potter the paper, but while he gives him the newspaper, he wraps up the envelope with the money, and now Potter has the money. And he goes to the fucking teller window. He's like, well, it looks like you're forgetting something, Uncle Billy. That money. And he goes, and this movie should be about Uncle Billy immediately committing suicide.
Absolutely.
And if anyone's on the bridge, it should be Uncle fucking Billy.
No,
Without a doubt.
It should be that SNL sketch where they go and fucking kill Potter.
Yes.
Fuck this guy. Who gives a shit? Bert's your friend. The police will cover it up.
Oh, this is what's insane though, is Uncle Billy's so fucking stupid he doesn't even recall, like Jimmy Stewart is taking him, he's like, all right, we're gonna retrace your steps, you fucking old son of a bitch.
Oh, this is the best part of the movie because Jimmy Stewart has had it with Uncle Billy.
He's so frustrated.
The bank examiner is there and like it's the worst possible time.
But never in this like retracing of the steps does Uncle Billy say, oh, and by the way, when I was in the lobby of the bank, I talked shit to Mr. Potter's face for 10 minutes. He doesn't mention anything about interacting with Potter.
We didn't even bring up this fact. On top of all this shit, the baby Uncle Billy, he's got 4 kids in the era of 2 years.
Oh yeah, well,
all within that. I mean, it's
Irish
nuts.
quadruplets, my friend.
Absolutely. She didn't get a fucking break. They were filling out a fucking punch card at the hospital.
His name is George Bailey. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Yes, and like he's like, you stupid ass. He's like really giving it to Uncle Billy, and like Uncle Billy is despondent at this point.
Where's the money, you silly, stupid old fool?
Which is like, you piece of shit, fucking fuck-brained idiot. I should have fucking killed you when I had the chance.
This is also big important detail here. With Jimmy Stewart's like so excited that it's like fucking Christmas Eve or whatever. When he walks in the office, Violet is there, Gloria Grahame. And she's like, oh, can I talk to you for a minute, George? And like they go in his office. She gives him this whole fucking sob story about wanting to get out. This motherfucker gives her money.
That he doesn't have.
That he just doesn't have. It's like money, like something with the building and loan, but then also just literally money out of his wallet.
Exactly.
You know, no, Violet, this is a loan. It's a fucking loan, goddammit. You know what a loan means, don't you?
Well, I mean, that's sort of the implication.
That's what everybody's thinking.
When he comes out, she kisses him on the cheek, and he's got lipstick on there, so it's like, we know what that means. Mm-hmm. But also, this is the other part of Uncle Billy. Like, Uncle Billy kind of goes away for the rest of the movie until the end. So he yells at Uncle Billy in his fucking flop house, and he's like, "You fucking idiot!" And he
bankruptcy, scandal, and prison.
And he's like, "I'm not going to jail, Billy. It's gonna be you," which is absolutely correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And like this squirrel comes out of nowhere and hugs him. Did you see this scene?
Squirrel?
There's a squirrel because Uncle Billy's like an exotic animal asshole. He's got a squirrel in his house. The squirrel gives him a hug at the end of the scene. How you train a squirrel to do this? How many squirrels died on the set of It's a Wonderful Life?
More important question, dude. How many screen creds does this squirrel have?
That's true.
Timmy the squirrel.
Also, how many different kinds of animal shit are just caking his
it
office?
Smells.
Please tell me.
It's a hoarder's house. It's a hoarder's house.
Uncle Billy, goddammit, you got to keep that office door closed or the feces smells ruining the business.
Can I walk into your office just one time and not have the floor be sticky? Billy, you talk to me.
So he's despondent. He's fucking furious. He goes home.
This is a rough scene.
It is a rough. I mean, like he's not having any of it.
Yeah.
Nope.
His oldest son, there is like asking for definition. He's like, I'm not a goddamn dictionary.
That's awful. One of the little girls is playing the piano. She's practicing for their big party. He fucking flips out on that.
Must you play that song?
He's pissed off. The youngest daughter, Zuzu, is upstairs in bed with a cold. He fucking loses it on the teacher over the phone.
Oh, I love that.
Gets in the fucking fight with the teacher's husband on the phone.
Like, if you think you're man enough, you come over here and try it. You try it, hotshot.
There's also a recurring gag in this movie that is a great ref in Christmas Vacation. Where the little knob on the railing keeps falling off, and then in Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase takes the chainsaw to it, which is fucking funny.
Fix the newel post. And yeah, it's his whole thing. Like he's losing it. He's like, "Why must we live in this drafty, ramshackle piece of shit house?"
Oh yeah, dude, he's taking it to this house hard.
And he's got some like model display. He destroys it. And he leaves to go to have some drinks at Martini's, which, you know, that's a good
You
enough.
got to go to the watering hole after that, dude. There's nothing left but the watering hole.
This is when the teacher's husband knocks him out, knocks his block off a little bit here.
All right, he's like, wait, did you say you're George Bailey? Stand up for a second so I could slug you.
He kind of looks like the fucking killer and I Know What You Did Last Summer. He's wearing this flicker. He's got a square jaw. My son died last year. I got this letter. I got the letter from the bank. I know what you did last summer. What?
You drunk, you ran over my son. You get over here right now.
George Bailey is bleeding. He's like, he decides, he I'm sorry. He goes to Mr. Potter's
Yes,
house.
this is a crucial scene.
He goes to Potter and he's like, hey, Potter, look, I'm in a real fucking jam here. What'll it take to get me out of this jam? He's like, well, Mr. Bailey, I remember on numerous occasions you said that I suck shit.
Through a straw, you said?
I guess I can't give you any money. I'm too busy sucking shit. I couldn't possibly write a check right now.
Oh, and,
what with the shit sucking?
Oh, and what's that? I couldn't possibly write you a check for $8,000 with what's that? Let me check my notes real quick. That's right, my broken wheelchair dick.
Well, how can I do anything now? You just telling me I'm cancelled.
Well, I'm canceled, mister. So I mean, like, that's this scene, and he's basically like, he even says like, all over town they know about you and Violet. That's gonna get back to you.
That's fucked up. And also a crucial line that I think plants the seed in Bailey's head right here is Potter is going over the financials, and he's like, well, apparently the payout on your life insurance claim in the event of a suicide, or not that, he doesn't have suicide. Potter's like, the payout on your life insurance is this much money, which is more than you are actually worth. And he's like, so technically, Mr. Bailey, you're worth more dead than alive.
If you would just get out of the way, the rest of us could live happily.
Get it tattooed on your forehead, Mr. Bailey. The bum's lost.
All right, Bailey. You want $8,000? You'll get $8,000, but you've got to go on the radio and say that you suck shit.
All right,
I want to hear it.
I'll suck your dick. All right? Now just tell me what you want me to fuck.
And Potter fucking calls the cops on him too.
Yeah, he's like, well, the police will be looking for you, Mr. Bailey. So they leave. This is when he goes to the bridge. And he's got this life insurance policy in his pocket.
Bleeding from the mouth because that dude socked him in the bar.
I don't know, like, suicide can't work with a life insurance policy, right? That must make it null and void.
I think it depends upon what plan you have.
Yeah.
And also, I think
I
make it look like an accident.
Bert would like help cover it up, I think.
Oh,
I
see.
Like, oh no, he slipped.
Yeah, totally. It was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loved bridge watching.
At this point, Clarence is back in the movie. Welcome back to the movie, Clarence. Jumps in the water.
Well, because the film, after an hour and 40 minutes, finally fucking catches up to where we started.
And he jumps off a bridge. He jumps off the bridge, so Bailey goes to save him because Bailey's a good guy.
Yep.
And in doing so, they're in this like night watchman's house or something.
And now his other ear is a trick ear, and now he's just deaf.
Well, I also love in this movie that Violet gets a cold because her coat was open. I'm like, you don't know shit about science, everybody.
That's just the way it was back then, man. Like, if you even just went outside at a certain temperature, you're getting a cold.
You're gonna get
oh, that's a cold, mister.
Oh, you didn't pray today? That's why you have cancer.
So this is when he kind of reveals that he's an angel and blah, blah, blah. And
Is there a weird thing here where this bridge keeper's looking at Clarence and he's shocked about the genital situation?
Oh, no, I don't think it's about the
Oh, because it's a bump down there?
Because exactly. Because like Clarence says something about like, oh, unfortunately, this is the underwear I was wearing when I died, or like whatever it is. And this bridge keeper's like, oh.
I think it's
Right.
more
I think
about
it's the antiquated underwear because he's a Mark Twain contemporary.
Yeah,
Right,
The
okay.
the bump comes with the wings.
Oh, right. So your ghost dick doesn't fall off until you get your
I'm
wings.
a second-class angel. I've still got my cock.
Clarence Oddbody, by the way, is his last
Yeah.
name.
Oh, maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe it's just fucking weird down there.
Oh, it was something I got in the Civil War.
They
Yeah.
called me Odd Body.
Yeah, Clarence II is doing quite well down there.
So yeah, this is what he said. Well, I wish I was never born.
Right.
Which,
And
I
so
mean,
this
who
is-
hasn't? Who in
I
this
think
room
about
hasn't
that
said
every fucking day. I wish I wasn't born.
Dude, where are the angels coming for you, Eric?
I would listen. I would not affect anyone. Just take me. Just get
You
rid
don't
of
know?
me.
That's what
do know.
that's what Jimmy
I
thought.
do know. Well, he's a pillar of the community. No one knows who I am. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if Bert the cop said, I wish I was never born, nothing.
Nah.
You would just disappear.
There'd be a couple of more people on the streets.
Clarence
That's
is
about
just like, okay.
Well, because fucking God didn't hear it from the crowd.
Oh, that's
for
true.
Bert.
That's
this letter.
true.
Nobody had a letter writing campaign that really made a difference. Nobody called their senator. So their celestial senator. They wind up.
They go back to martinis.
He's like, well done, Mr. Bailey. It's a very Twilight Zone-y, like a little blink noise.
Yeah.
They go to martinis, but it's actually run by his bartender Nick, and now it's Nick's joint.
Right.
And Nick's an asshole now.
Nick's a bit of a surly dick.
Big asshole.
Nick is fucking employing Viggo Mortensen from Green Book. Yeah. Like it's a mafia fucking hangout. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing about like, Stewart's like, give me a double bourbon, and then like Clarence, because he's like, let me get a flaming. Well, it's not hot enough for that.
Mulled wine. He ends up trying to order.
Yeah. Which is the thing. I love mulled wine unless you're at a place that on a menu specifies they have mulled wine. Fuck you, Clarence.
This bar is a house.
Yes,
of course it is.
That is not a place for mulled wine, rum punches, sake, or anything else.
Right, and that's what Nick specifies.
Sake, who'd you fight for in the war?
He's totally like, listen, mister, this is a place where white people go to drink fucking dirty ass liquor and get fucked up. None of your mulled wine here, troublemaker.
Yeah, he keeps calling him troublemaker very specifically.
And then he calls them pixies. I think the drink order too. Yeah, there's this whole like anti-gay angle that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just very much like get these pixies out of my bar. They get kicked out.
Look here, you two. We got moonshine and fancy moonshine. That's it.
Well, this is a fucked up part though, because before they get kicked out, Mr. Gower walks into the bar. But he's just like, he is a crippling drunk. Now he's Shane McGowan.
Right. He's like a homeless person here.
He's homeless. They're like, they say something like, hey there, rummy, come here. And then like he gets fucking sprayed in the face with soda water.
Biggest laugh of the night in my house. Holy fuck, was that funny.
But also because he did 20 years for killing that kid all that time ago, which he should have anyway.
And it's fucked up though, because Jimmy Stewart goes up to him. He's like, oh, Mr. Gower. It's Mr. Gower, everybody. And then Nick is like, hey, man, that guy did fucking 20 years for killing a kid. Would you meet him in the joint?
Which is the highest sentence for a white man at the time.
Oh, absolutely. So they both get kicked out. And I mean, like, not the only good thing about this movie. I mean, what's interesting about this movie is like, this whole like alternate timeline is very small, but also like Stewart gets to it really quickly. He figured like, in some of these movies, like where it's an alternate timeline, there's a ghost. Like sometimes it takes too long for the character to figure it the fuck out.
Right. Like he starts getting clues right away though, because he's like, oh, my ear works all of a sudden.
That's right.
The daughter Zuzu has given him like flower petals that aren't in his pocket anymore. Zuzu petals. By the way, the Ford Fairlane character.
That's what. Yep.
How about that?
Wow. If this movie was never born, Ford Fairlane wouldn't have that.
But it's awesome though, dude. This scene where he's running down the main street in Bedford Falls, which is now Pottersville. There's a fucking sign that says Pottersville.
I gotta tell you, man, I would rather go to Pottersville than Bedford Falls.
Of course, there's gambling, porno bars, theaters, girly shows. Man, come on.
It looks like a happening town, dude.
No.
Your fucking shitty uncle's in an insane asylum.
Oh, that's the best line. They're like, oh yeah, your fucking uncle is in the bug house. Which he belongs there anyway. Best case scenario for that fuck.
I guess that's fair. That's one good thing.
All right. Well, I'm doing the math here. Okay. Mr. Gower went to prison. He's a drunk. That's a negative. I like Mr. Gower. Uncle Billy in the insane asylum. Is it one of those crooked ones?
Is he getting abused? Say.
Oh, maybe I will never be born.
Plus or minus column. I don't know where this one goes.
Electroshock, eh? Not too shabby.
While walking down Main Street, Violet is being arrested for just being, I guess, whatever. She showed her leg at the wrong establishment.
Well, that's what I don't understand about the Violet arrest, though. It really must have been something.
Yeah.
Because, come on, showing legs
she's
in
a sex worker now.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Arrested on charges of being loose.
There's now no middle class.
Yes.
Right.
It's just the lower class of Potter, which is the Trumpian dream. It's just you and everybody else.
So what really takes George and like sells him on the situation is he sees the cab driver and he's like, like, hey, Nick, take me home. And he's
Ernie,
like,
by the way.
Or Ernie, pardon me. Yeah. And Nick is the bartender.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Ernie, take me home. You know where I live, 320, whatever the fuck. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. And they drive there. The house is dilapidated again.
Yes.
There's a big fucking freak out. Bert the cop comes. This is a great moment where there is a scene of a cop tackling an angel to the ground.
Oh my God. One of my favorite moments is when the angel bites the cop.
Yes.
And then they're
so
able
great.
to give him the 23 skidoo and fucking get out of there.
But there's also like even in the town square, like I think he gets to do it with Bert the cop a little bit, and he shoves him.
Oh, right.
And because he shoves him, this cop opens fire on him in the middle of a crowded street. Holy shit!
Oh, yeah. Because he sort of like punches him.
Yeah,
almost.
that's right, he
Fucking
punches him.
Firing wildly.
It's Potter rule.
Pottersville PD, motherfucker.
They'll do it.
He goes to.
Yeah, so now you'll notice, Mr. Bailey, the police look a lot more like the military now. Keep the rebel rousers in line.
AR-15s.
Tear gas, they've got it. Tear gas, AR-15s, bulletproof vest, tanks.
All of them are Antifa thugs in my streets.
But another like fucking horrendous moment is he goes to his mother's house.
Yes.
Which is now Ma Bailey's boarding house. The
Sure.
woman opens the door.
I think if we existed in the 1950s, we would all spend a good amount of time in boarding houses for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I might still be in a boarding
We'd
house.
be in, what was that movie? On the Bowery.
Oh my
Yes.
God, yeah, we would. We would be characters in On the Bowery for sure.
Check that movie out this holiday season.
It will make you thankful for everything you have. And it's fucked up right here. He's like, I'm your son George or whatever. Where's my brother Harry? And again, because George was not alive, somehow they skipped right to having Harry.
Yeah, that's.
Sure.
Oh no, they didn't even skip to having Harry. They waited until the appropriate time because Harry was still the same age.
Right,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Harry, of course, George wasn't around to save him. Harry fell through the ice and died. This is the moment in Back to the Future 2. He goes to the grave site, sees he died in 1919.
But it's also a Christmas Carol too. You know what I mean?
Of course,
you,
yeah.
you get to the
This whole thing is Christmas Carol-esque.
But I mean, like the funny thing is, like, why would even Harry go? Like, those were older kids. You know what I mean? Like that whole party was a bunch
Right.
of old, George's friends, and Harry was the kid brother. Harry wouldn't have been there. I mean, Harry would have maybe died maybe like the fucking Tony Todd fucking Grim Reaper had it out for Harry from then on out.
Yeah, he's just following him.
Wait, the Final Destination or the Candyman?
No, the Final Destination.
Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping for a Candyman reference,
Yeah,
too.
I was more
So-
like,
sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
My
It's okay,
apologies.
Steve.
Cannot believe they're remaking that, by the way.
With Jordan Peele producing. We'll see. How
I-
that's
I-
always that's always like I'll produce it.
I can believe they're remaking it.
But to not have Tony Todd as the Candyman,
I can
dude.
believe that.
He's got a cameo. I
He's
bet you.
there's definitely.
Oh, it's probably going to be as like a fucking janitor.
No,
or
he's
something.
Candyman Senior.
No, you put the hook in your hand this way. This way.
Candyman. I haven't gone by the name Candyman in a long
Oh my God! What
time.
if it's like that Zorro movie that came out in the 90s and
Holy shit.
and he's the
Yes.
old Candyman that has
Training
to train
the
the
new
new
one?
Candyman.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you know what? Jordan Peele, do that. Just do that.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones has a sexy scene with the new Candyman, and he's using the
Yeah.
hooks on her dress there.
And she just goes, not bad.
I think the Mask of Zorro, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Yep.
that might be a stage.
It'll take a while
It
before
definitely is.
It'll take a while before the bumblebee stops stinging you.
You have to control the bumbles.
And then, like, you know, he asked Clarence in the graveyard, he's like, oh my gosh, Harry's dead. Whatever happened to Mary? And like, Clarence can't even say it. It's so disgusting. He's like, yeah, George, you do not want to know. And I'm like, oh my God, is she dead?
Did she become the Elephant Man?
George, I'm sorry. She's an old maid. And he's like, no!
Dude, he is fucking shaking this angel by the fucking shirt collar. Like, tell me what happened. I'm Mary. Tell me. And this dude's like, no, I can't do it, George. You're going to throw up on me.
George, she works at a library.
It's a nice life. She's got
Yes, she's an attractive woman with a job. What the fuck's wrong with that?
She's wearing glasses.
and no makeup. And all of a sudden, the fucking town loses their eyes for a second. They're like, Donna Reed, blur. Like, I mean, like more than likely, she would have obviously just got married.
George, you're the only one that would have had her.
That's kind of what it is, right?
She's so ugly to us.
She turned down the chance to be in Sam Wainwright's harem.
But I mean, like honestly, like somebody else would have figured it out with Donna Reed, and Donna Reed would figure it out with somebody else, or like it's also
Her
totally
life
fine.
would be better. Let's not even fuck
course,
around with
of
this.
course, she would
George
be-
Bailey is a grade A loser.
She wouldn't be living in a leaky shack.
And I mean, like, but the thing is, like, it's so funny because I also think part of this old maid plot is like no one can fuck her in another dimension, right? Like that's how that's gonna work,
Right, yeah.
Like, I can't go back to my wife now. She's married to somebody else.
It was like my hot throbber or bust.
Oh, you hussy! You got married in another dimension.
Oh, he's in there eating my birthday cake.
But no, so she's an old maid. He tries to talk to her at the library.
This is what a fucking scene. I think also I made this joke on Twitter, but this movie could have just equally have been called George Bailey and a series of public freakouts. Like, why does Hair Bailey run amok? This dude fucking loses it in public like 6 times in this movie, including right here. This woman is fucking screaming. I think also, by the way, this is where the cop starts firing at him.
Oh, that's right.
Because he runs away and he runs back to the bridge. Like,
That's right.
Mary being a spinster is like the fucking final straw.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
my
take me
God.
back, take me the fuck back. I don't care if I do life in prison.
And she's like 31. You know what I mean? Like it's not over for her yet, in my opinion. But yeah, so he runs back. And like he's like, oh, I want it all to go back. I've learned my lesson here, Clarence. I want to live again.
Oh, and you know, it's like, all right, ding-a-ling-a-ling.
And then
everything's back.
Bert the cop comes. He's like, I'll suck you again, Bert. And then
Oh man, he's fucking cranked up on crazy juice.
And then he realizes what's going on. He runs down the town. This is Merry Christmas movie house.
Oh, you too, Emporium. That's the fucking greatest dude. Just an Emporium.
What? Merry Christmas, Gower's House of Horrors. Merry Christmas, Murder House.
Oh, you too, wonderful old building and loan, the place that has crushed my fucking family's soul for decades. Merry Christmas.
And Hitler, wherever you are, Merry Christmas to you too.
Feeling dunk.
He runs home, and this is when, if you're Steve Sadak, this is when the waterworks start to work. I cannot watch this movie without getting choked up.
When he walks in the door and the bank examiner's there.
No, you know what I mean. Yeah, so the bank examiner's there. He's like, well, Mr. Bailey, you're going to jail.
Yeah, there's a cop there. He's like, let me guess, you got a fucking warrant for my head, don't you?
No, I'm sorry. The best line of this entire movie for me is he runs by Mr. Potter's house. He's in euphoria. He's like, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. And he goes, and Happy New Year to you in jail. Chef's kiss.
That
Love
is
it.
a good one.
And then, yeah, so this is like, he's running around. He's looking for Mary. Mary's not in the house. He fucking finds the kids. Great big hug there, of course. Mary comes home. She's like, hey, man, I've been out trying to like hustle and figure some things out here. And I think the town has come together to give you $8,000.
We've got a great news, George. We set up a GoFundMe page. And, we reached our goal.
Yeah, we did.
That's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
The
This
government
is a
doesn't-
GoFundMe.
There's nothing wrong with the government. There's nothing wrong with our system of living that you could be ruined for $8,000. No. The town needs to come together to save you. And if they don't, you go to jail. I don't know.
You probably deserve it then.
But it's so
you
fucked
die
up.
in a jail cell.
Here's the thing. I think he's jumping the gun, though, with this whole suicide because fuck you, man. When the investigation gets launched, it's all on fucking Uncle Billy.
Absolutely. I would sell him out in a fucking heartbeat, that fucking joke.
George?
That living joke.
The guy's been living for 100 years. He's going to be gone in a year anyway.
But yeah, this is the cavalcade of townspeople come in. Everybody's donating money.
There's a basket
Martini gives his pocket watch for the kid to play with. That fucking gets me, dude. Jimmy Stewart's holding like, oh my God, thank you.
Harry shows up
Oh, fucking Harry.
back
Yeah.
from whatever gallivanting adventure he was on.
Getting the fucking Medal of Freedom or whatever.
Piece
he
of
flies.
shit.
He flies
No,
in a.
Oh, you know,
No,
I was on the train bound from D.C. and I just told this lady that I worked at a glass factory. She started blowing me. Things are going great for me, Judgy boy.
Hey, George, I'm glad you're not going to jail. I just got sucked off on a train.
I just helped Uma Thurman with a car.
We're dating. Can you believe it?
Hit her in the face with a jack. Killed her dead.
What?
How's the
Jack
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 bill?
Oh, I missed that film.
And then so the little girl starts playing on the piano. We're all fucking singing songs and whatnot. The fucking one of my favorite things is while he doesn't throw money into the till, the police inspector comes up and tears up the warrant in front of his face and puts it in the basket of donations.
That's worth some money itself.
You're saving bail money, I guess. Yeah.
And Harry does get the telegram from Sam Wainwright. Like apparently Gower had asked him on behalf of George Bailey for cash. He's like, for $25,000, stop.
Yeah,
which is that's what's gonna get you.
I lose it at that, man. 25 large,
and I'm not
bad.
for Harry. We were shitting on Harry a lot, but if I was Harry, I'd be like, I did just win the Congressional Medal of Honor, folks. I mean, my brother, richest man in town.
Fuck you, Harry. This dude is not going to jail. That is what we're celebrating.
I just got back from knocking out the Emperor of Japan with my own fists.
So, nothing for Harry, huh? Just let you know, I did save a transport full of people.
It's awesome.
Literally hundreds of men owe their lives directly to me.
Well, were they from Bedford? No, so shut up.
They basically tell the bank manager to go fuck himself here. It's pretty, the guy's like, well, I guess I'm defeated. But
the bank manager puts money in the till as well, I believe, at the end of it because he's so moved by
his heart grows 3 sizes.
Yes.
And so, here's to my brother. This is what fucking kills me. Sam raises a toast.
Yeah. Harry.
Harry says, this is to my brother George Bailey, the richest man in town.
Because you know what?
Waterworks.
When you have friends, you're rich.
That's right.
That's a lie.
That is true.
No, money isn't everything, folks.
And then
by the way, you should donate to the Patreon because we're
that's right.
You want to be friends, don't you?
And then so the bell rings. Oh, Daddy, Mommy says when the bell rings, an angel or teacher says,
that teacher shit. I gotta apologize to her.
Oh God, I called her all sorts of shit.
I just love that the teacher he yelled at was what brought this. Oh God.
Does anybody remember?
Oh, that's right. Hey, Clarence, attaboy, Clarence.
Does anybody remember the Rocco's Modern Life gag about this?
No, I do not.
They have a thing where it's like, hey, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. I don't remember what character it is.
I remember this now.
Maybe it's one of the big heads or something. Somebody goes, oh, yeah, well, your teacher's full of snot. Fucking hilarious. That's always stuck with me.
That's a good line. I mean, I guess every single time a fucking bell rings.
Jesus Christ, that's a fucking army of angels.
Well, it's the army. It's literally everyone who ever died who went to heaven is an angel.
Right. Yeah.
Second class angel, by the way.
Yeah, still got your dick.
So I mean, I guess, and that's the fun. Nick the bartender, when he's making fun of him, he's ringing the cash. I was like, look at all these fucking angels I'm making it. Hey, everybody's getting wings tonight. All right.
And then, by the way, we sing a song that I love, Auld Lang Syne, great tune, singing it up,
or as I call it, let all acquaintance be forgot. And
just wait for it to get back to that part.
Exactly. And everybody likes themselves. It's Christmas time.
And Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah. It's
I think that's like a pagan curse or something.
Did they get that from Bohemian Grove?
Oh shit!
Some Celtic spell.
And then, because it's 1946, the movie just ends.
Yes.
That's the end.
We got the big old bell. We don't worry, we got the credits done in the beginning. This is the end of the tape.
The big bell, so the big angel gets his wings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you're totally right, dude. Yeah, the big one.
That's Andre the Giant. I finally got my wings. That big bell finally ring for me. No, that's too small a bell ring.
I'm the angel of wine. Every time a cork is busted, a big old wrestler angel gets her wings.
Oh, yeah. Looks like I'm going to heaven.
Angel second class Randy Savage.
Still got my dick.
The Hulk is ready for heaven. Wait, what? Wait, what? Where am I going? What was that? Terry's going where?
No.
Oh, wow. I can't believe Chris Benoit went downstairs.
Oh, definitely. He's the king of hell.
Oh, my God. Oh, and that is the end of the movie, man. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love this movie. I've seen it. You're going to ask the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. Did this movie hold up for you, and how oft do you revisit it?
This is a movie I revisit about every 2 years. It's always a Christmas time thing for me. Sometimes I'll switch it out with other Christmas classics. I don't get to it every year, but it's definitely on my short list. Jimmy Stewart's fantastic. He's my favorite Golden Age actor. After FYI, he's in the top slot for me.
Oh, nice.
I just love the personality. I love the idiosyncrasies in his performance. I think
Couldn't be a star today. He wouldn't make it anywhere. He'd be Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's too weird looking.
Yeah.
But I love how weird,
which is great.
Exactly. I mean, he's not, and he just had so many different modes. He could do very sweet. He could do rope. He could do fucking vertigo. You know what I mean? It's just Jimmy Stewart's my favorite. But FYI, I love this movie.
Yeah, probably about once a year, I would say. Definitely holds up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember reading Manny Farber and thinking it was bullshit, specifically because he doesn't like this movie.
Right. Yeah.
And I do think it gets almost everything. The religion stuff is a bit much, but that again is of the time, and I kind of get it. That was most of culture at the time.
But it's not that overbearing though. It's just
God doesn't come back.
There's prayers, but it's yeah, he's an angel. I mean, but it's not specifically denominational.
We're not talking about Jesus.
No,
really.
Jesus does not come up.
Which is
that's
appreciated.
good.
Apparently, there's a scene where Jimmy Stewart drops to his knees and does the Our Father, but that got cut.
Oh.
And all religions have a Joseph.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's good. Enjoyed rewatching it. I haven't, it's kind of like once every 5 years for me or something. I don't watch it that much, but when I do, I'm like, why aren't I watching this more? So it was great to revisit it, and obviously Jimmy Stewart is fantastic. By the way, if you identify politically as center or right, you are pro-Potter. You are a Potter supporter.
Yep.
So I love the lessons in this movie.
Yep.
The lessons are great. This movie totally holds up. It's not the message of this movie is still totally valuable today. The crap that it got when it came out, which I understand, and this is a lot of Frank Capra movies, is sort of that naive, we're just going to wrap it up with the power of love kind of a thing,
Well, yeah, the city, there aren't bad people in the city, in the town, other than Potter.
But no, but just more yeah, sure, you don't need to worry about that $8,000 because as long as you have people that care about you, somehow everything will come up Millhouse. People will come and just throw money at you to save you in the situation. It's not a realist,
No, yeah.
I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That's,
But if you want to do that, patreon.com/wehatemovies.
AKA America before November 2016.
It's a quick way to wrap up a movie. So that part doesn't particularly work. But the fact that this movie in 1946 was no, fuck you, rich people.
Yeah.
That's crazy that
and
happened.
There's no backstory to Potter. It's not like he lost his son or he's so sad. It's just
Yeah.
he's a rich fuck, and having that much money poisons your soul.
Absolutely.
Because it does.
And also, it's fucking kind of realistic in the other way, in that there's nothing bad that Potter does not get comeuppance at all. It just ignores it. It's we replaced this money, so it's totally fine. I guess we'll never know what happened to it. Meanwhile, Potter's back at his office jerking off in front of his man friend.
I will say, Eric brought it up. There is the great Silent Live sketch from the Phil Hartman era of the alternate ending to It's a Wonderful Life. Introduced by William Shatner, by the way. Which is,
he must have hosted, I guess.
Yeah, and by the way, a trigger warning, Dennis Miller's in it. But
it's on Hulu, and you should check it out.
It's very funny.
But yeah, I revisit, I guess maybe every other year or something. Like I said, I play this every year at the Burns. It's it's a holiday tradition for so many people, which I don't get. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
You can watch it whenever. You
really can. It's totally fine. I mean, I think they honestly mention Christmas more in Die Hard. If you want to,
don't start that shit.
No, I know, but if you want to put where the barometer's at for Christmas movies,
for sure.
Sure, a lot of it should be taking place or mentioning it, and this is seriously the last 30 minutes, and that's it.
Yes, all right. Yes, I'll accept the charges. What do you want, Bailey? Ho, ho, ho! I've got a machine gun.
That is It's a Wonderful Life. directed by Frank Capra in 1946. Of course, if you want more We Hate Movies, head over to patreon.com/We Hate Movies.
Gotta say that speaking of William Shatner, we have our show on Star Trek called The Nexus. You may or may not have heard of it. It's at the $8 level where you also get commentary tracks. This month's is Commando, by the way.
Yep.
But back to William Shatner, Star Trek The Wrath of Khan full-length episode.
Full-length app.
On Patreon, plus Star Wars A New Hope, which we mentioned earlier. And it's not just a one and done, dude. You unlock everything we've ever done, a whole year of content.
And you got Animation Damnation. We just did Batman the Animated Series on Animation Damnation because We Love Movies Month, guys. It's
That's
really
right.
cool.
We're just having fun. If you've liked these episodes, we've gotten great response
Absolutely.
so far
Absolutely.
on these episodes. You definitely should continue having that fun on Patreon.
Now, there is one more prime slot We Love Movies that is coming out on Christmas Day next week, right? It's only one left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So head on over to youtube.com/We Hate Movies. Watch that announcement video. Figure out what the last one is. It's going to be a total blast. And that's it. We will see you next week for the final episode of We Love Movies 2018. Until then, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Chris Cabin.
Eric Siska.
Take it easy.
That was a HeadGum podcast.